Alright, what is going on everybody? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic day. What we're going to be doing today is continuing a little bit of the dark matter grind, but mostly what we're focusing on is the You Say, I Slay. So you guys love this series. I absolutely love doing it with you guys. All you got to do is type !class in the chat. It'll give you a link to a Google form, fill that out, and send me a class setup to use here in Black Ops 3. A lot of you guys have been tending to give me some pretty not so great class setup, but that's perfectly okay because it provides a little bit of a challenge. For some of my streams. Holy crap, the chat just absolutely exploded. What's going on? Connor Hayden, COD Nation, Tucked Slice, Greg Zors, Physics. How you guys are doing today? Shadow, welcome to the stream, everybody. Thank you, all of you, for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I was first. Connor Hayden was actually the very first person that I saw in my chat, man. But still, you guys were all in here like immediately. That's the hashtag notification squad right there, guys. I appreciate that. What's going on, Sajad? How you doing today, man? Ronnie, welcome to the stream. Corey, how you doing, man? A7, what's up? Uprise Clan, welcome to the stream. Uprise Clan got those notifications on as well. What's going on, Hovey? Welcome to the stream as well. Toxic, how you doing? Kyle, welcome to the stream as well. What's going on? It's Daniel. How you doing today, homie? And Fear Vipit. How you doing today, bro? Rare Supply Drop Flash Sale. Now live now through Wednesday, March 1st. Available for 24 hours only. You can procure a big box bundle of 100 Rare Supply Drops for 5,000 COD points, which is 75% off. Damn, that's actually a really good deal. We might actually have to take advantage of that. I'm not sure. What's up, JMS Gaming? Ninja Fox, Noob Clan. How you guys are doing today? Gerald, how you doing today, brother? I love Big Black. What did that say? Yeah, that's what I thought it said. GTA 5, how you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. Thank you to all of you guys who are in here. So fast. Holy crap. What's going on, Renza? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hey, mate, what's up, Elite Master? What's up, Gaming Ninja? How you doing today? How do you do a class? So all you got to do if you guys want to suggest me a class to use is just go ahead and type !class in the chat. Then I'll go ahead and give you guys a link to a Google form, and you can fill out the class setup there.
Yo! Yo!
There we go.
Boy. Yo, dude, I'm the same. I'm fucking shocked, you know?
Yo, what's going on, Battle Heroes? How you doing today, man? Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm sorry I can't talk to you guys in game. I'm sorry I don't have a microphone that can attach. I appreciate you guys being in my lobby, though. I'm going to go ahead and play with viewers right off the bat here, so it should be a lot of fun. What's going on, Vikram? How you doing today, homie? Cameron, what's up, brother? Welcome to the stream. You guys get in here so quickly. That's the power of the notification squad. You guys are amazing. JP, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, man. Nathan Smith, Premier Gunner, I do remember you. Welcome to the stream. All right, we already have a full 6-man party. Holy crap. So I'm going to go ahead and check the submission form and see if any classes have been submitted so far. And if any have, then we can go ahead and start going. But it doesn't look like any classes have been submitted just yet, which means the first person to submit a class setup will be the class setup that I'll be running with here for the very first class setup here. What's going on, Dylan? Welcome to the stream. Baba Ops, welcome to the stream. Andreas, how you doing today? Such a fanboy. Yo, what's up, Noob Clan? Chingy, what's up, man? How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Can I come play with you? Yeah, man, I'll be playing with viewers all day. I'm just going to be rotating in and out with different 6-man parties. So make sure that you're on your PS4 ready to join up. Make sure that you're friends with me as well. If you haven't shot me a friend request yet, type !PSN in the chat. It'll give you my PSN ID. I accept all friend requests, so don't be shy. Yeah, it's going to be pretty lit. I got a deatomizer strike and infected. Can you check it out? Yo, Gaming Ninja, tweet it at me, bro, and I'll be sure to check it out. But I can't check it out right now. If you put it in the chat, it's just going to scroll by and then I'm going to miss it. Kieran Smith, shout out to you. Thank you very much for stopping by the stream. IW had a huge update. I know, I saw, actually. That's pretty crazy. Like, apparently some new weapons were added or something like that. All right, so our very first class setup here is a Man of War class setup. Let's go ahead and rock with it. Let's see how it goes. If the music's a little bit too quiet for you guys, let me know. I think it is a little bit too quiet. Let's try to turn it up a little bit. Maybe you guys can actually hear it. We got Elo on this bad boy. Thank you very much to whoever just hosted the stream. I want to say thank you to you. Picky, thank you for your host, man. I appreciate it. Jobo the Hobo, hey, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. And Luke Bullock, how you doing today? And Music Museum, welcome to the stream. Joke Wall, how you doing today? Welcome. Hey, what's up? Yo, what's going on? Noah, how you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. You guys are submitting class setups like crazy right now. We got stock, fast mags, and rapid fire. This actually looks like it's going to be a really good class setup. Holy crap. And then we got Afterburner and Blaster Suppressor. Okay, so no Scavenger on this class setup. Interesting. Blaster Suppressor, let's throw that on. And we got C4. Oh, no, man. We don't even have that unlocked. And then Cerberus, Wraith, and Hater. Some solid streaks right there, bro. Cerberus. Where's Cerberus? Cerberus, Wraith, and Hater. And then we got Kinetic Armor as our specialist. Damn. We're going to be lighting it up. Absolutely lighting it up. And then I think that's everything. All right, let's go ahead and try to hop into a lobby right here and see how we do. What's going on? Thank you very much, Sniper, for hosting the stream. I really do appreciate it. I've done a class. All right, thanks. I love Big Black. Thank you, man. I'm not going to read your whole name because, you know, it's a little weird, a little vulgar. That's all right, though. All right, who is this class setup submitted by? Let's go ahead and give a shout out to... It'll actually let me scroll up here. Let's see. So we got this class setup was actually submitted by, drumroll please, No name. So somebody submitted this class without saying anything. What's going on, Rob Hatch? How you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. You Waste. What's up, brother? Welcome, dude. Do I have COD? I do have COD, bro. Yeah, I'm playing COD right now. What are you talking about? Oh, God. Look at this party that we're going up against, chat. I don't know if you guys can see him. Look at that. Oh, no, they just left. It was like all level 900s or something like that. Nathan Smith, what's up, brother? I like the video. Thank you, David Harris. I appreciate it, homie. What's going on, DXHenis? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. COD Gamer 98. What's up, man? Thank you to all of you guys who are stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Henis, I've been a long time sub. Please use my class. Yo, Vikram, if you submitted a class, man, actually, let me go ahead and see where you submitted your class, because I'm pretty sure if you already submitted one, I may be able to use it, because I know you've been and supported me for a while. Vikram, where are you? Oh, you're only like the 4th class down, bro, so it's a pretty good possibility I'll actually be able to get to your class today, since you were able to submit a class hella fast. I got you, bro. Yo, Filipino, or no, Filippo. What's going on, Philip? Filippo Hellbang. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. I am your 20th liker. Hey, thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it. We already have 20 likes in the stream. That's insane. Pablo, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, dude. I'm thinking some people are kind of getting scared here. They're coming into this lobby, seeing this full 6-man party, and they're trying to get out of here. I don't blame them, man. We are a pretty threatening crew right here. That's rocking this game right now. One Grind, thank you for that host, homie. I appreciate it. We got 50 viewers already in the stream, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you all very, very much. Let me go ahead. Down the volume here a little bit. Already 30 likes on the stream. You guys are absolutely insane. What's going on, ProTech? How you doing today? Snorlax, welcome to the stream. Hey, Henis, what's going on, the COD bros? Welcome to the stream. Where's my class? Cameron Borwick? I don't know, man. Let me go ahead and check. What's going on, Casper? Yo, Casper plays. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Wait, hold on. I literally just forgot who was asking for their class setup. I forget who was asking for where their class setup was. Simply Titan, thank you for the host. I appreciate it, man. We may have to go ahead and try to find a different lobby here. Abdul, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream. Hey, Hannah, sorry I'm late. Charlie Holmes, no worries, man. I've been live for 7 minutes, dude. Relax, you're fine. You're fine. RJ Witten, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Galaxy Ninja, welcome to the stream as well. It's amazing how many of you guys come in here like so quickly. You guys are like lickety split fast, dude. It's crazy. I'm gonna donate. Yo, dude, actually, if you donate using Super Chat like you've done before, I'm pretty sure I'll actually be able to see it in my chat app right here, which is pretty lit. How you doing, RJ Witten? Welcome to the stream, man. Please pick mine, Renza. Yo, if you guys ever want me to use one of your class setups, and I'm actually... Hold on. I didn't grab everybody. There we go. If you guys ever want me to use one of your class setups, and you don't want me to wait to, like, get to it or, like, you know, have, like, the off chance of me grabbing it in one of these class setups, if you donate to the stream and you leave the class setup that you want me to use right in the chat, right in the message that you, when you donate, then I can go ahead and use your class setup right there. I prioritize all donated class setups. Just because if you're going to support the stream monetarily, I'm going to go ahead and use your class setup immediately. So that's just a way for me to say thank you. You don't have to leave a class setup when you donate. You know, if you just want to donate just to support the stream, that's very much appreciated. But I know some people do tend to ask about that sometimes, because I know a lot of people really do want their class setups to be used as well. So just something to keep in mind if you do want to support the stream. I was just looking at the clan tags of everybody that was in my lobby right there. Like, everybody changed it to 22K. That's absolutely awesome. Assaulted. What's going on, you Waste? Welcome to the stream, homie. How you doing today, man? Yo, Fear Viper, you donated, bro? Yo, man, if you donated, it should pop up on screen. Abdul, what's up, man? Do I like school? Yeah, Magda, I like school, man. I like school. Hot Shots Gaming, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? I'm doing great, Warrior Hunter. Thanks for asking, man. I can use my class setup. I'm just going to be using class setups in, like, random order or just, like, you know, going from top to bottom. So I can't, like, guarantee anybody that I'm going to be using anyone's class setup in particular unless you donate to the stream. I'm just going to be jumping around and getting a lot of them. But because there's just so many class setups that have been submitted, like, literally already dozens of them. It's crazy. Like, I think already 30 classes have been submitted or something like that. What's up, Skills? Welcome to the stream, homie. How you doing today, man? Use mine. I donated. Viper, you didn't donate, though, bro. What's going on, Gunner Vortex? How you doing today, homie? Welcome to the stream. And thank you very much, The Real Chingy, for that follow, or for that host today, homie. I appreciate it, man. Let's go ahead and hop up here. This guy's got fast meg on this class setup as well. That's hella lit. Do I like my fans? Just asking. I absolutely love my fans. Yeah, dude, you guys honestly make streaming and video games and like so much more fun. With the amount of support that you guys show the stream, it's absolutely phenomenal. I really appreciate it. All the support that you guys show is literally insane. Pure Skull, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, man. Oh, Jesus. My shot is not feeling very electric right now, Chad. We gotta warm up here a little bit. This is my very first game on here for today. Oh, God. Nope. I didn't play that very well. Henry's dad, hey, I just want to say that I will not be able to watch your following streams. I'm sorry, but my mom and dad don't allow me. I'm sorry. Please remember me when I'm back. I will try everything to watch you. Hey, yo, Mats, I appreciate that, man. Yo, Sticky Savages, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream. If you guys want to submit a class setup, all you got to do is type !class in the chat. It'll give you guys a link to a Google form, and if you fill that out, then I can use your class setup. If you type it in chat, though, the chat's just going to scroll by, and I won't be able to see your message. Damn. How's it going, yo, Underworld King? It's going great, man. Rare supply drop equals nothing. Yo, did you guys see what they added to Black Ops 3, though? They added, like, a big box bundle for, like, 5,000 COD points or something like that. I think that's only, like, what is that, like, 40 bucks or something like that? I don't know. We may have to try to use that. Try to get something good. What? How did I not kill that guy, man? Yo, someone in here was just going crazy. How did I not kill that guy? Yo, the Axeman, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, dude. Slayer, what's up as well, man? Welcome to the stream. I'm going to London. Yo, Magda, that's lit, bro. Damn, I could have sworn I heard somebody behind me. Yo, Sticky Savage, yeah, if you want me to use a class setup, bro, type !class in the chat. It'll give you a link to a Google form and you can submit it. Submit it at the Google form, man. If you type the class setup in chat, I'm just not going to be able to see it. It's going to scroll by too quickly because we've got a lot of people in the chat right now. What's going on, DXNE? How you doing today, man? Welcome. Where's my class setup? I'm not sure, Cameron. I didn't get a chance to see it clearly, man. You were the person who was asking. I apologize, bro. I wasn't able to see exactly, very clearly where your class setup was, man. Let me know if the music's too loud for you guys or anything like that. I can go ahead and turn it down if you guys think it is too loud or too quiet. Or let me know if I need to turn my mic volume up. Or I think my mic volume is up all the way. Or like game volume or anything like that. Just let me know. I don't think this thing has quick draw on it, which I don't think is going to be too much of a hindrance. Shouldn't be too bad. Fast mag will definitely make up for it, though. Make my life a little bit easier. Don't know where these guys are all spawning, man. If you're spawning on the other side of the map, what's going on? Music is fine? Alright, Jared Smith, sounds good, man. Me donating just showed up, bro. Yo, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Could you do the 100 supply drops in this stream? You guys want me to upload up the 100 supply drops in this stream? I don't know. The music is cool. Yo, thank you, Magda. I appreciate it. It's all non-copyrighted music, actually, so it's all 100% free. Pretty cool. Gurjo, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? I should add an ! music command in my chat. I think you guys would really like that. It's like some of you guys just want to know what playlist I use. Like, I wouldn't be able to tell you necessarily exactly what song I'm listening to right now, but just give you guys a playlist. What's up, Chingy? Welcome to the stream. Wyatt Kills. How you doing? Can I do a trick shot? I'll leave all the trick shotting to Raid Away. Damn, did not see that other guy over there. Flame Exposed. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Trying to donate? Alright, bro. Sounds good. Hold on, someone just typed in the chat. Thanks for understanding. Hey, no problem, Mats. I appreciate you stopping by, man, for real. Hey, what's up? Yo, what's going on? Nick Benson and Neon. Welcome to the stream. Hennis, when is that IW stream? What are you talking about, IW stream, bro? We streamed IW yesterday, and we didn't get that many viewers at all. It was kind of a sad day, in all honesty. Abi, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Hennis, I missed 12 minutes late. I'm sorry. Lulu, yo, please, never be sorry for being 12 minutes late. Never be sorry for being late at all, honestly. Not that big of a deal. You guys want me to do the 100 big box opening? I don't know. We may have to do it now if you guys are asking for it. 100 supply drops. Open them all up. We'll see, guys. We might do something like that. We might try it. I think enough of you guys want it, so we may actually do it. We may actually want to get it done today because I think it ends tomorrow, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it tomorrow, so we'll see. Lucky I'm able to watch you for 4 more minutes. Hey, that's great, Mats. I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully everything's alright with you and your family and all that. Having trouble hitting that guy. Do it? Yo, Wyatt wants me to do it, man. I don't know. Do I like hardcore, Magda? I'm not as huge a fan of hardcore as I am of core, to be honest with you. Core is just a lot more fun, in my opinion. Zombie Gaming, what's up? Welcome to the stream. After this game, do it? Dude, do it this early in the stream? I don't know, man. That seems kind of early, bro. Doesn't it seem kind of early to do that? We may, though. We'll probably will do it at some point in the stream since you guys really, really want it. You want me to dab in the video? Bro, come on. Dabbing's dead, man. So many of you guys ask me to dab, like, all the time, and I just don't get it, man. Oh, God. Yo. We're warriors, chat. Absolute warriors. Pac-Man, bro. Is this the Man of War? This is the Man of War. Just do it. You guys just want me to just do it? Just do it already. Oh my god, we get quickscope right there. If we hit 100 likes, then do it. Yo, we're gonna hit 100 likes easily, though, guys. That's the thing. We've been hitting 100 likes easily on so many of the past streams. I don't know. We made this set a bit of a higher like goal than that. What do you guys think? At 200 likes, we do it? At 200 likes, we do the big box bundle opening. Does that sound fair? I think 200 likes is fair. At 200 likes, we'll do the big box bundle opening. I think that sounds pretty lit. Ah, come on. Of course that guy's got the scythe. Hi, can I play after? Yo, absolutely, Ninja. I'll be sure to play with some more people afterwards. What's going on, Mythify? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. 101 likes? We'll do it at 200 likes. At 200 likes, we'll do the big box bundle opening. Does that sound good, chat? I think that sounds pretty fair. 150 likes? Nah, 200 likes, guys. We could definitely hit 200 likes in today's stream. That's not that hard for you guys to do. You guys have smashed past stuff like that in the past. Are you fine with the XR2? If not, then my class is perfect for you. Yo, I am totally fine with the XR2, man. I like the XR2. Can you use my class setup after, bro? Yo, Premiere, I'll see you, man. I'll see whose class setup I'm going to be using after this. Know where all these guys are, bro. I'm pretty sure there's still a guy back there. Actually, no, teammates just spawning back here, so I think we're good. Couple of hit markers on that guy. He's dead. Let's go ahead and hop in here. We're going to win this game by far. These guys went crazy. Damn it, dude. 150, come on. Yo, no. How about 200, guys? We can hit 200. 200 likes. 200 likes, and I will do it. What's your name on PS4? KRNGHenis. KRNGHENIS. Damn. What's going on, Slayer? How you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. Make your dreams come true and just do it at 200 likes. Yo, true. Charlie Holmes, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. That's an enemy wraith in the air. Of course it is. It's lit, boys. Let's get it. We could win it on this hard point right here. Oh, shoot. Did not see that Cerberus over there. Isaac Firthy, what's up, man? Callum, how you doing today? Welcome to the stream. We just gotta stay on it, bros. I think we got it. Yo, how did I get that guy? Yo, what's up, Flex? Welcome to the stream. Did you change the class after every game? Yeah, after every game I change the class, bro. Hey, what's good? Yo, what's going on, Toby? Welcome to the stream, man. Oh, damn. I just barely got that. Holy crap, that was clutch. Yo, Flex, please do not spam in the chat, man. Yo, Pixel, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Is your NAT tape moderate? I actually talked with the IT department. I don't know, you guys have been here for the last couple of streams, but we've always had issues with people joining up on my session. And I talked with the IT department. They said that they made a couple fixes that may actually help me out. So I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll see. Are you playing with viewers? Yeah, man, I'm going to be playing with viewers all day, Quartz. All day. I'm on YouTube. Yo, what's up, Sticky Savage? Welcome. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were just watching on Twitch previously. Oh, excuse me.
Whoa, I'm in! I'm in!
What's up, dude? Yo.
Donated again, boy.
Hey.
M8A11, FMJ, Fast Mag, Sub Henis.
Hey, true.
Confusion and Fragno Perks. And also, I love you, man. Can you shout me out? I'm almost at 200 subs, bro, and I will say you've been growing as always, man. Love you. No homo. Asu, dude.
Asu, dude. Yo, Casper, thank you very much for that $3 donation, dude. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the stream. I will go ahead and use your class setup right now, dude. Absolutely. I believe we actually do not have the M8A1 unlocked. I believe you meant to say the M8A7. But unfortunately, we don't have that unlocked right now. It's unlocked at level 55, and currently, we're level 49. So I'm really sorry, bro, but I can't use your class setup. I really do appreciate your donation, though. Thank you very, very much. What's the song called when someone donates? It's the song from the Karate Kid, like, you're the best around, no one's gonna ever bring you down. I'm not sure exactly. It's just the Karate Kid song. That's how I've always thought of it. Yo, what's going on, Dion Holland? Welcome to the stream. I remember you in here from yesterday's H1Z1 stream. How you doing? Yo, and yes, make sure you guys go ahead and check out Casper's channel as well. He just typed in the chat right there, Casper Plays. Be sure to go check him out. He's on the road to 200 subscribers, he said? Yeah, 200 subscribers. Make sure you go show him some love, guys. So unfortunately, we didn't have time to switch our class setups there. But so we're going to go ahead and rock with the exact same class setup, and then we'll see how we do after this. After this game, guys, after this game that's coming up right here, I will be playing with a brand new set of viewers. So make sure that you guys are ready to hop on, ready to play. Should be a lot of fun. You're really good. Thank you, Nick Benson. Appreciate it, man. Use the Drake on? Oh, God. That'd be absolute hell. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, can we get a Casper spam in the chat? I want to see his name literally scrolling down. Everybody spam Casper. I would really appreciate that. I'm 10 and I donated 50 pounds last stream. Callum, did you donate 50 pounds last stream? I don't remember. I remember that, man. You waste? Yeah, man. We did an H1 stream last night. It was really late, though. It was like really late in the day. 4 more till 200. Hey, that's awesome, man. Casper, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute legend. Ah, there we go. Now the game's just started. Oh, we got some extremely OG players in this game right now. Some level 1000s. We'll see how we good. You're so good at commentaries. Thank you, Chronix. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very, very much. Guys, let's get 200 likes. Yeah, remember, guys, if you hit 200 likes on today's stream, we are going to go ahead and do the big box bundle opening, which should be a lot of fun. If we hit 200 likes in this stream, then we'll do it in this stream. If we don't, then we'll just do it next stream, to be 100% honest with you. We'll do it next stream, or I'll make it a video or something like that. Remember me from the H1 stream? Yo, Chiri, I do remember you, man. Yes, welcome, dude. Welcome. You guys are still spamming Casper. Damn. I'm watching this while I'm working out. Yo, that's awesome, Toby. Hopefully I'm helping you, you know, flex those muscles, dude. That's pretty lit. Pretty lit. We already have 85 likes in the stream, guys. Wow, so we're almost at 100. We're almost halfway there already. You guys are crazy. Geek Productions, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Do I have the D13 sector? I don't believe I actually have that, man. I think that's the one special weapon that I actually don't have. I'm pretty sure I do have the NX Shadow Claw. I know that. And I think there's another special weapon that I just can't think of right now that I'm pretty sure I do have. Your boy Scopes, what's up, man? Are you playing on PC? I'm not, bro. I'm playing on the PS4. So I think these guys are going to try to be going pretty OG right now. Yo, nice little quad feed right there, baby. Let's go. Just absolutely wrecked those guys, man. Damn. I can get those tags that'd be lit. Oh no, my teammate can steal them too. That's also okay, I guess. Cameron Barwick, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Yo, Alfie, how you doing today, man? Welcome, dude. Welcome. What is on the Man War? I believe he's got Elo on this. He's got Elo. Hold on, let me go ahead and check. He's got Elo, Quick Draw, Fast Mag, and Rapid Fire. Pretty sure that's what he's got on. Damn. He's got absolutely wrecked. Yeah, make sure you guys go ahead and share the stream on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias. Help spread the stream some love. Helps get it out there. Helps get more viewers in here. Helps get closer to 200 likes, and then we'll go ahead and do that opening if we hit it in today's stream.
Ambush hunter down.
Ah, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, I was not expecting you guys to be right there. Hey, everyone. What's going on, Mabel? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Jorge, what's going on? Will you play with new viewers? Yeah, absolutely. Right after this game, I'm definitely going to be playing with new viewers. Yo, what? Of course, that guy just destroyed me right there. What's going on, Louis? Welcome to the stream. What's my Twitter? If you guys type !TWT in the chat, it'll give you my Twitter. !TW... Ooh, excuse me. !TWT. I'll put that in the chat right there for you guys. Just came back from school. Yo, George, that's awesome, man. Thank you very much for stopping by the stream. I really appreciate it. Damn, that guy just locked onto me. These guys are trying really hard, man. These guys are definitely some tryhards. Do I play Pokemon? I'm not a huge fan of Pokemon, bro, to be 100% honest with you. To be 100% honest with you. Like, I've played it before, right? Like, I was definitely part of the hype when the game actually was released on mobile. And, like, I was definitely part of the, you know, part of the group that, like, everybody who played it. But, I don't know, man. Like, when it really came down to it, I'm just not really a huge fan of Pokemon, to be 100% honest with you. Hey, bro, I'm back. Yo, Dankus says, what's up? Toxic Blitz Gaming, welcome to the stream as well. Shoot, that guy just destroyed me. How many classes have you been so far today? This is only the first one, man. Velocity Mystic, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Damn, dude, these guys with knives are everywhere. What's going on, Chris HD? How you doing today, man? Can you sub to me? Yo, Eddie, what's going on, man? Please do not self-promote in the chat, but hopefully you'll grow your YouTube channel, man. I wish you the best of luck. Remember me? Yo, Cryptic Gaming, I do remember you, bro. Yes, welcome. Oh, damn, just absolutely ruined that guy. Let's go ahead and pop this. We need all these streaks here, bro. We need all these streaks.
Kinetic armor discharge.
Need to figure out where we are here. No, I just needed like a couple more kills goes, and then we would have had our streaks. Come on, dude. Yo, Mabel, yes. Well, oh. Casper, damn.
Just donated again. Him so hyped to join HENIS's Discord server.
HENIS's?
Tell them HENIS about Discord server. New class. I forgot.
Yo. First of all, Casper, thank you very much again for that $1 donation, dude. I really appreciate it. Fade away, welcome to the stream. But man, dude, hold on. So you created a Discord server for like viewers or whatever. That's actually pretty dope. Hold on, so just joining again. I'm so hyped. Join Henis' Discord server. I made him. Tell them, Henis, about Discord server. Yo, hold up. Absolutely, bro. Yeah, I didn't know you made a Discord server for me. I don't think I've actually been invited to it, bro. So I actually didn't even know there was one made for me. But hey, I appreciate that, man. If you guys want to go ahead and join on that Discord server, that'd be amazing. I'm pretty sure if there's a mod in the chat, I'm pretty sure, Casper, you should be able to post it in the chat. If the bot blocks you for some reason, just let me know and I can go ahead and like make you exempt, or a mod can like allow you to post a link or something like that. Or if you send it to a mod, then a mod can post it for you. But that's absolutely awesome, man. I really appreciate that. And again, thank you very much for another $1 donation, man. Homie, appreciate it, man. It means a lot. I'm gonna die right here. You got Dark Matter yesterday? Yo, Velocity Mystic, that's lit, man. Jake, welcome to the stream. Will I play hide and seek? I don't think I'm gonna be playing any hide and seek today, man. It blocked you from posting it? Alright, yo, Casper, send it to me, bro. And then, actually, for next stream, I can just make a command for it, so people can type !Discord, and I'll put it right in the chat. That sound Gucci? Where are all these guys, man? Are they still spawning back here? Where'd they all go? I think they're all over here. What's up, Stanner? Welcome to the stream, homie. How you doing, man? Oh, God, that guy was lagging bad. Where are all these guys, man? Like, these spawns are so weird, bro. What's going on? Yo, Khalil, I do remember you. Welcome to the stream. Yo, Spark. What is up, homie? Welcome to the stream. Yo, James, let's watch with the language here, bro. Come on, alright? Damn, I just got wrecked. What's going on, Simon? How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. How I sent it to you? Henis? On Twitter, bro. Twitter or Instagram would be the best place to send it to me. Damn, I'm pretty sure these guys got a hater. What's going on, Isaac Skates? How you doing today, man? Yo, Brookster, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, man. Damn, these guys are all jumping up here, dude. Dude, what is with all these flashes, man? These flashes are so atrocious, bro. Kai Hope, what's up? Welcome to the stream, man. How you doing? Are you still in school? I am, bro. And Sin, yes, I live at school, bro, because I'm at college right now, so live and breathe. Yeah, I saw that one coming. I was hoping maybe I was too far away and it wouldn't see me. iTempo, yo, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I just donated $120 and it didn't show up. All right, yo, JP, I bet, bro. Can't peek that again. That's just not gonna work out for us. Henis, do you remember me? I do, yes, the COD Bros. What's up, man? Using the Optic Formal class setup? What's the Optic Formal class setup? Is that like the M8? I bet it's with the M8, right? That's what I would guess. Hey, Henis, yo, what's going on, Phase Admin? How you doing today, homie? Welcome to the stream. Do I have last gen? I don't, unfortunately, bro, no. I mean, I have PC, if you count that as last gen, because it does technically support last gen, but it's not technically last gen. Do I have an Xbox 360? I don't, Toby. I'm sorry, man. Eddie Pre. Can you sub to me? Yo, please don't self-promote in the chat, man. If you guys ever want me to check out any of your channels, though, all you gotta do is, like, leave a, just go ahead and like, tweet me with your channel that you want me to check out, and I'll be sure to check out your guys' channel. Or if there's a specific video that you made that you want me to check out, I'm always willing to do that for you guys. So, go over to Twitter, check that out, and I'll definitely be sure to check your guys' channels out. Totally down to do that for you guys. What's up, Stan? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Look at the class setups and look for mine. Yo, I'll be sure to run with a brand new class setup right now. Yeah, because I'm going to be playing with a brand new set of viewers right now as well. So, the next time that's coming in is actually a Weevil class setup. Ooh, alright. You guys already know, my favorite weapon in the world is the Weevil. Forever Gaming, you are the 100th like. Yo, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. And remember, I told you guys, if we hit 200 likes on today's stream, at some point during today's stream, then I'm going to go ahead and do the big box bundle opening. Which means I will go ahead and open up this big box bundle right here, which costs 5,000 COD points, which is pretty lit. Thank you to, yo, AkVD. I appreciate that host, man. Thank you very, very much. Let me go ahead and back out so I can play with a brand new set of viewers. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave alone. So now a brand new set of you guys should be able to join up on my session. My NAT type is open, so you guys shouldn't have any issues joining me, which is absolutely awesome. I contacted the IT department. That's actually the first time I've actually been able to confirm that my NAT type is now open, which is great. That's absolutely phenomenal. So hopefully you guys should all be able to join up. All right, let's do grip and high caliber. Wait, did you ask for high caliber on a Weevil? Wait a second. What? What? That doesn't make any sense, bro. All right, we'll go ahead. We'll just throw on like long barrel, I guess, or something like that. 6 cents hardwired and blast suppressor. 6 cents hardwired and blast suppressor. All right, sick. And then we got combat axe. That would be pretty interesting. We can't use that, unfortunately, so leave that blank. And then we got concussion as well.
Oh.
Cerberus, Wraith, and Hater. A lot of you guys are really liking the Cerberus, Wraith, Hater setup. That's absolutely dope. Cerberus, Wraith, Hater. Same exact class setup. And then Gravity Spikes as our specialist. All right, let's go ahead. And grab the... No, we can't use the gravity spikes as our specials, man. Alright, so we'll just keep on the kinetic armor, I guess. This class setup is coming in by JMS Gaming. JMS, thank you very much for that class setup, homie. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very, very much. Quartz Gamer, how you doing today, man? Am I still on PC? Nah, man. I'm actually on the PS4 right now. On the PS4. Alright, so I'm pretty sure some of these guys who are in here I've already played with. Let me go ahead and check back here. So, FaZe, Nathan, yeah. Sickhead, Paul, Kieran, Boy, and Galaxy Lucas. So, Sickhead, Paul, I already played with you. Galaxy Lucas and FaZe Nathan. I've already played with all of you guys, so I'd appreciate if we just allowed new viewers to go ahead and join up. If you guys aren't friends with me on PSN, then make sure that you go ahead and type !PSN in the chat. It'll give you my PSN ID, and be sure to friend me off that. I really do appreciate it when you guys do that. Super chat? Hold on, did a super chat message come through? Yo, hold on, go ahead and check that right now. Yo, Galaxy Lucas, I already played with you, bro. Get out of here. We still got room for one more person in here, guys. Kieran, boy, I'm pretty sure I already played with you, didn't I? Weren't you already on the list? Yeah, I already played with you, Kieran, boy. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, bro. There we go. Now we got a full brand new lobby of 6-man. Yo, what's up, man? I'm so happy that my night tab is now open so I can play with all of you guys. That's absolutely phenomenal. Let me go ahead and check Super Chat, though, just to go ahead and thank whoever donated to the stream using Super Chat. For some reason, I didn't actually see it pop up in my chat message here, which it technically should have, given what I was told, but that's alright. Let me go ahead and check Super Chat right here. I'll leave it open. We got $1 coming in from B-Buck. Hey, thank you very much, man, for that $1 donation. I really do appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a B-Buck spam in the chat? Thank you very much, homie. I love these streams so much. Yo, Toby, I really do appreciate all you guys stopping by. You guys are phenomenal. So we'll go ahead and play Chaos Mosh Pit. It's going to be a bit of a smaller map. That's what we're going to want when we're running around here with the Weevil, so it should be pretty lit. Maybe we can play some time on PC. Yo, Stan, absolutely, bro. I don't really play on PC too, as of recently, I don't really play on PC too much, but I go back to it every now and then.
Nobody took care of the ferry yet?
Yeah, !PSN in the chat gives you my PSN link. B-Buck spam in the chat. Thank you very much, dude, for that support. I really do appreciate it. All right, we'll hop into this game. We're going to be playing on Combine Uplink. Yo, Uplink is such a great game mode, man, for spawn trapping and everything. It's so nice. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 110 likes on the stream right now, and I told all of you guys that if we went ahead and hit 200 likes on today's stream, I would do a big box bundle opening. So we're only 90 likes away. So drop a like in the stream if you guys want to see that, and we'll try to do that if we can. Alright, I don't actually believe I saw the message in the chat, but congrats on 22K. Hey, thank you, Matthew Daw. I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you very, very much. Hold on, I'm looking for the because it should have showed up in my chat right here, but for some reason it didn't. You ugly, yo, Spicy Ninja, chill, get out of here, bro. Stan Strick, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I thank you very much, Blake, for that like, dude. I really do appreciate it. Alright, I'm not seeing it for some reason. How do you enter a class setup? All you gotta do to give me a class setup, bros, is type !class in the chat and give you a link to a class, or give you a link to a Google form. You can submit it there. What's up, Dylan? Welcome to the stream, dude. Please read, I've replied to the email that had the confirmation purchase of the gift card. Please can you check your emails so I can close down the situation? Yo, absolutely, bro. I got you, man. I can check it right after the stream. I can't check it during the stream, but I'll check it after the stream, homie. Alright, let's go, boys. Oh, I'm so glad I was able to get out of there, bro. Yo, what? Yeah, I wasn't gonna be able to get that guy. Way too far away. Brock Damien, what's up? Welcome to the stream, man. Yo, Nate Perry, how you doing, brother? Welcome. I sent you a class. Yo, thank you, Pac-Man, bro. I appreciate that, man. I'll be sure to check it out after this. Yo, the Weevil is such a good gun, bro. Oh, no, I didn't want to pick that up. Shoot. That's awkward. Alright, so they should all be coming from back here. Oh.
Demo KIA.
Oh, God. Just absolutely melted that guy. Holy crap. Literally destroyed that guy. Yo, good work, teammates. Good work. Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. How much of a turret turn on was that? Nope. Please don't kill me. Peek me, peek me, peek me. All right, these guys are all still back there. Yo, crap, boys. We got to get on our streaks here. We're getting hella close. We're getting hella close. We're about to get on them. What's going on, Chris B? How you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. Chris B? Or Crispy? Welcome to the stream, dude. Thanks very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, we got our Cerberus. It's lit. Call that in right there. Hey, that's lit. Let's call that in. All right, we're about to get on our Wraith here. I really don't want to choke it, so let's go ahead and push this way. Oh, God, I got... Oh, make sure I'm paying attention here. Oh, no. Those guys were staring right at me, bro. No, I need a gun. I gotta get out of here. There's an enemy right here, isn't there? Nope, there's not. Okay, we're good. I need a different weapon, though. Prize fighters, I need this Kuda. Thank you very much. All right, let's rock with it. Yo, is Chuck in here? Was Rajun, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Monkey Elite, how you doing today, brother? Welcome to the stream. I think there's more guys over there. More guys upstairs over here. Yo, teammate, better watch out, bro. Better watch out, man. Oh, damn, bros. Yo, hold up. What other guns do these guys have? Yo, no, I don't want to control my servers. No. No, give me that ICR. There we go. That's what I wanted. I'm sorry, teammate. I almost let you die right there. It's not on purpose, I swear. Oh, damn. Yo, guys, we're going absolutely off. We're on a 13 right now. Or 15. You guys think we can drop the nuclear right here? I think it's possible. What was that? No way, bro. What was that luck? Yeah, mate, I said Hennis out here, not giving an F about the new IW weapons. No, not at all, man. I don't care about the new IW weapons at all. Nah, man, get those IW weapons out of here, dude. 26-3, dude, we were doing so good. Jared Smith, pancakes will fall on the final kill cam. Pancakes will fall? What does that even mean? We got a C4. Do I have a scuff? I don't, man, no. Go ahead and pop this. Chill. Damn, dude, if I could have gotten all those guys, it would have been awesome. Yo, I'm the God. What's up, homie? Welcome to the stream. I can't believe we died a C4 right there, bro. That's so upsetting. That's so depressing, dude. Let's jump up here. Where are these guys? Peek me? Hello? Damn, are like all these guys in here? Oh, there's still people in there, bro. What? Holy crap, dudes. There's still people pushing. Yo, that's a guy right on the ground right there. I didn't even see him. Yo, what's going on, Taurus? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Hennis, I sent a friend request. Can you accept it? Absolutely, bro. They actually gave you 2/3 weapons to get challenges, and the melee is in the drops. Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's actually not too bad. Yeah, I was talking to Apollo about that this morning, actually. We were talking about some of the DLC weapons. Apparently, they give 1 free to all season pass holders, which I think was actually a smart move. Because like a lot of people complain about that. So I think that was a smart move. Dude, what's that camping spot, bro? Come on, man. And then and I guess like some of the other ones you actually have to unlock under the quartermaster, which I guess really isn't too bad, but it is what it is.
Took down that fire.
Oh, yo, he's right. Yo, he was right behind me. What on earth? Yo, this guy's hella weak. Where was that last shot? I'm James Murphy. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Nate S. How you doing today, brother? Yo, Hennis, bro, I'll play with you soon. I just have a lot of work to do right now. Hey, no worries, homie.
We have the satellite.
Oh, of course that guy was sitting right by the window, man. Peace Network, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the stream. Battle Heroes, use a melee weapon? Dude, if I were to use a melee weapon right now, it would be so horrible. I'm absolutely terrible with melee weapons. Yo, Alikin, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Rip lol. 1 free weapon on what? Apparently on Infinite Warfare, they're giving out like free weapons to like season pass holders or something like that. I think it's only 1 free weapon to season pass holders, and then it was like there's something else. They're like you can unlock other weapons through the quartermaster. So, Hennis, have you gotten a nuke yet? Not today, bro, but I have gotten nukes before. Absolutely. Lone Star Nation, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Did not think the game was starting that quickly. Guys, can you go to Twitter? Because I sent you the Discord on Twitter. Please read my message. Yo, Casper, absolutely, bro. I can't check it out right now, dude, but I'll be sure to check it out after the stream, dude, alright? I just want to focus on the stream right now. When I'm streaming, I want to focus on the stream and the gameplay and all that, so. Sup, bruh? Oh, of course they spawn over there. You're the best. Yo, thank you, Stivix. I appreciate that, man. Make sure that you guys go ahead and drop a like on the stream as well if you guys are new. Once we hit 200 likes on today's stream, we will be going ahead and doing the big box bundle opening, which is going to be a lot of fun. Damn, dude, I just got pinched everywhere. Other people pushing this? Hello? There's definitely going to be other people pushing this window now. Lay down right there. Nope, that's not going to work. I made you a class. Yo, thank you very much, Zombie Gods. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys haven't submitted any class setups yet, or if you guys want to submit a class setup, all you guys got to do is type !class in the chat. We'll give you guys a link to a Google form. You can submit it there. Hey, so I need to send another link to my vid on Insta. If you want me to check out your video, bro, then yeah, but never required to send me a link to one of your videos if you don't want me to. Yo, I low-key wasn't even paying attention. I was looking at chat there for a second. Jasmine, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? We gotta really focus on getting a gameplay here with this class setup. I really want to get on my set of streaks again. No, but of course the guy with the class right there, man. Oh, the guy with the ball. Always messes up everything. What's up, dude? Oh, no, that's gonna ruin me. Yep. Yo, what? That guy was lagging hella hard. That thing is still over there. Let's go ahead and hop up here. I really don't want to get killed. Push back up this way. Yo, that guy's gonna be hella confused. He's like, how did he pass in front of the server, the thing like that? Yo, what's going on, Blake Walters? How you doing today, homie? Welcome to the stream, man. Like, what is this pre-fire? Look at this. Like, he's so ready to see somebody. Look at that pre-fire, man. That's crazy. Monkey Elite. New viewers in this game? Yeah, man. Right after this game, I will be playing with new viewers. Absolutely. What is the command to submit a class? !class in the chat, bro. If you type !class, it should give you the link to submit a class setup. Please try out this free game out on YouTube, Blacklight Retribution, and say it in the stream if you will. Yo, I've played Blacklight Retribution before, man. It's actually a pretty fun game. Like, it's been a long time since I played it. Like, don't get me wrong, but I thought there was a guy. Low-key in the mentality of like playing hide and seek out here. Damn. Cameron Borwick, how you doing, homie? But yeah, make sure that you guys keep sending me class setups because this could be a lot of fun to be using as many of you guys as class setups as I possibly can here. So. Damn, there's way too many people down there. Holy crap. Yo, Cosful, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Is there any other commands? It's so cool. Low commands in the chat? Yeah, there's plenty of commands, man. All the commands for my stream are actually right in the description of the stream, so you guys can check all those out there. Damn, that's gonna look like some hacks right there, dude. See the way I just locked onto that guy? Oh, I definitely should have had that guy. No questions asked. That guy should have been straight dead, bro. How are we doing right now? 57 and 18. Not too shabby. This class setup is actually... We're shredding with it right now. Let's try to go ahead and push into their spawn. Try to get a few more kills. Anybody over here? Hello? Of course, that guy's got the ball. Cool. What are the chances of that, bro? We just completely loop around each other. Yo, holy crap. These spawns? What? Yo, what on earth, dude? I was gonna say, somebody better get a freaking hater up in here, dude. My god. Dude, these spawns got nutty. We only got 40 seconds left here. You guys think we can drop some, like, 6 feeds here at the end of this game? That's what I'm hoping. You better be able to drop some 6 feeds right here. This hater's not gonna make it any easier for these enemies, man. They gotta be so triggered right now. Oh, no, dude, I stopped shooting at him. Low-key thought I had him. Need 3 more until 200 subs? Yo, Casper, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to see you getting this much support, bro. That's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you again for your donation, brother. I really appreciate that. Yo, my teammates are, like, seriously going in right now. Holy crap. Damn, kinetic armor, dude, saves you in hella clutch situations. You slay everything? I try to slay with everything, man. The penis launcher 2.0. What are you talking about? Answer. Yo, C-Note, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry. I try to talk to as many people as I can in the chat, guys, but sometimes there's just too many people in here. So, unfortunately, I can't necessarily talk to literally everybody, but it is what it is. Hennis, shout me out one more time so I can get to 200. Yo, shout out to Casper Plays, guys. Make sure you go check out his channel. He's typing in the chat right now, the YouTube chat. Make sure you go check him out. Absolute legend. He just donated twice to my stream today. That's awesome. Yo, the Fam Clan, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. 50 more till 100 subs would? What? Yo, Kree, you were going absolutely off that game, weren't you? Yeah, you were doing really, really well. Damn. I was lagging so bad that game. Yo, I'm sorry, you boy Scopes. That's too bad, man. Honestly, yeah, there's not really much I can do to prevent against the lag, especially for those of you guys who are, like, live really far away from me. Viewpoint, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Callsful, how you doing? We were at 130, and now we're so close to 200. Yo, Kungra, that's awesome. Kungra Sheriff, shout out to you as well. But yeah, definitely check out Casper, guys. Definitely check him out. All right, so let me go ahead and grab a brand new class setup here. So thank you very much for suggesting that class setup. Let's go ahead and grab the next one here. This is gonna be a Vesper class setup. Interesting. Actually, do I want to use the Vesper class setup? Let's kind of spice it up here. Let's go further. We'll sort of grab like a middle class setup here. Let's grab another. Let's definitely do another Razorback class setup. We went absolutely off the other stream with a Razorback. I actually have a video coming out here soon of me using that class setup. A class setup that I got like literally a beast gameplay with earlier. So I'm definitely gonna be showing that to you guys. It was literally insane. Fast mag and rapid fire. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Rapid fire. We'll get rid of that. And then what do we have for, we have Ghost, Hardwired, and Blast Suppressor. I don't think we have Ghost on, unfortunately. Yeah, we don't have an unlock token for it, so let's keep on Afterburner. And then Hardwired, and Blast Suppressor. Can we throw this on or no? No, we unfortunately can't. Damn. We got too many slots. And then Thermite Shock Touch, we can't throw those on. Lightning Strike, Hater, and Power Core. All right, that's pretty interesting. I'll be playing with a brand new set of viewers right after this, guys. Lightning Strike we can't throw on. So we'll just throw on Hellstorm. And we'll throw on Hater and Power Core. All right, lit. Let's freaking get it. I'll be playing with a brand new set of viewers right after this game, guys. So make sure that you guys stay tuned. Make sure that you're on your PS4. And if you haven't shot me a friend request yet, be sure to go ahead and type !PSN in the chat. It'll give you my PSN ID. Do not be shy to shoot me a friend request. Go ahead and refresh. Thank you to all of you guys who are in here, though. You guys are absolutely amazing. And remember, when we hit 200 likes on today's stream, or I should say if we hit 200 likes in today's stream, I will go ahead and do the big box bundle opening in the black market. Currently, right now, we are at 134 likes, and if we hit 200, I'll be sure to do that. We've only been live streaming for, 45 minutes, so you guys have shown an insane amount of support already. That's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you very much for all the love. You guys are insane. Giovanni, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Who is this class made by? Yo, let me go ahead. Just shout out whoever made this class setup. Razorback class setup is coming from Pixel Sany Boy. Pixel Sany Boy 123. So thank you very much for the class setup, homie. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be able to slay with this thing. What's going on, Andre Torres? How you doing? Welcome to the stream, man. Dude, especially with Fast Mag on this thing. Fast Mag, Elo, and Rapid Fire. This thing will just absolutely shred.
Tango down.
I'm really happy he didn't just kill me right there. Shoot. Yo, teammate, you gotta watch out there, bro. Some guys might come in from behind you. I'm gonna watch your back here, teammate. Hopefully you don't die. Oh, God, I didn't realize there were that many of them. Holy crap. Yo, I am very sorry. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. How long have I been streaming for? From right now, I'll probably be streaming for like a little bit more than an hour more after this. I usually like to stream for about 2 hours every single day for you guys whenever I can, so... My schedule kind of flip-flops depending on what day of the week it is, so make sure that you guys follow me on Twitter. That's honestly the best place to stay up to date with all of my content. I'm gonna die right here. Yep. Ah, man. Andre Torres, yo, I love you too, man. Jinja Ninja, what's going on? Yo, we got Scumpy in here? Jinja Ninja? What's up, dude? The Ginger Ninja. I'm pushing out. Did that guy just seriously missed that uplink? That guy low-key missed the uplink. Yo, hold up. Yo, come back. I know you're back there. Hey, what's up? There's another guy, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that was the same guy. Oh. Yo. Holy crap. That guy just absolutely rushed me so hard. Yo, Krillin, I got kicked from the game. What the heck? Yo, Kree, you shouldn't have gotten kicked, man. That's too bad. I'm sorry, dude. Hey, it's using my class. It's called the Mower. Yo, you called your class the Mower, dude? That's lit. I'm actually going to be starting a brand new series on my channel, guys, that I'm like really, really excited about. I'm probably going to release a video on it like tomorrow or something like that. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Oh, God. Getting some lag right here. Let's go ahead and push in with kinetic armor. Push in with kinetic armor and like nobody spawned here. What's up, dude? Kinetic armor just like seriously saved me right there, chat. I gotta back up. We were way too far in their spawn. What's going on, Elite Ram? Welcome to the stream, dude. Yo, Mallow the Prince. What's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, dude. Of course, dude. A shotgun comes in right from the side. Mallow the Prince, how you doing today, man? No one subs? Come on. Yo, everyone go check out Casper, man. He's like really close to 200 subs, guys. But you should go check him out. He's an absolute legend. Absolute legend. He's supported, like, he's donated me twice today already. He's an absolute crazy supporter of the stream. He's donated a ton in the past as well. You're only prestige 4 level 50, but you're absolutely amazing. How does that happen? Honestly, bro, it's because I didn't actually play on PS4 until recently. I used to play like only on the PC, and so it was only recently that I got a PS4. Yo, try to come and knife me. Yo, that was hella close. That was way too close. Holy crap. I do not feel safe right now. Yo, damn. No, there's guys everywhere, man. This is crazy. What's going on, Keo? How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Unnamed Dionit, how you doing today? How you doing, Hennis? Yo, I'm doing pretty great. I am very sorry. I'm doing pretty great, bro. I just realized we got a hellstorm here. Let's call this thing in. And there's literally no one. I absolutely hate the hellstorm, bro. It's so frustrating to use. Ethan Savage, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, dude. Yo, the Razorback is just such a good weapon, dude. Honestly, if you guys haven't tried to use this, it's just such a crazy good gun. Mad Brian, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, dude. Guessing some spawns over here? No? No spawns over here? For real? Yo, I think that dude literally just spawned with me staring at him almost. Yo, what? Oh my god.
Satellite drone reset. Get the satellite back. Friendly UAV inbound.
Oh my god, we're going off.
Hostile UAV spotted. Last second. Bring this home.
Come on, chase me. Yeah, what's up, dude? You don't want to call that in just yet because the round's about to end? Oh god. Yo, dudes. What is happening, bros? We're going off right now. Like, literally straight off. I'm about to run out of ammo, though, so I'm going to just, like, back up here. Let's survive the rest of this round. What's going on, Ali Kaplan? How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Billiard, what's going on? There we go, boys. Holy crap. Andrew Ferguson, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Damn, Hennis, holy crap. Yo, it's true. We were going absolutely off right there. Like, holy crap. Oh, you're going off like what? Yo, dude. I'm telling you guys, the Razorback is my gun. I absolutely love the Razorback. You guys want me to try to get a nuke? Yo, I'm going to have to concentrate like hella hard here to try to get this nuclear. Let's try it. Let's definitely try it. Let's definitely go for it. We got a hater in here too, so let's try to go. Sup? Yo, what's going on, Wild Gaming? Welcome back to the stream, dude. Oh, what? That was way too close for comfort right there, boys. Yo, none of these guys are pushing this way, for real? Whew. Yo, 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 yo. Gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Dude, there's definitely guys over there. I'm backing up. I'm backing up. Dankus Taze, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, man. I don't have that much ammo left either. I'm gonna have to pick up a weapon. Oh, no, 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 no. I need a weapon here, boys. I need a weapon badly. Nope, getting out of there. Not worth it. No! How did that guy just wreck me, dude? Are you kidding me? What were we on? What were we on right there? It's literally because we didn't have scavenger on this class. That literally would have made everything so much more different. Damn, dude, that's such a shame. Yo, can we get some RIPs in the chat, ladies and gentlemen? We're gonna try to get another gameplay with this class setup, though, bros. Hands down. Like, this class setup is hella nice. Good try? Yo, we tried, boys. We tried our best. We literally, I don't think we probably couldn't have done much more there. I don't even think we had our kinetic armor, so we really couldn't have popped that. So that wouldn't have really done us anything good. Ah, shit, I didn't realize there was a guy upstairs. RIP, guys. RIP's in the chat. Thank you very much for your support, though. Appreciate it. We tried. Yo, Vikram, and yo, Newton. What's going on, man? Newton, R6. What's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, dude. Yo, I thought that was low-key a guy right there. I was like, what? Oh, damn. I was really hoping that wasn't going to destroy us. Here we go. Let's get these guys. Another guy popped his kinetic who went in here, I'm pretty sure. Yo, chill. Stop trying to kill my teammates. What's up, homie? No, imagine if we could have locked onto that guy, too. Have I ever used your Vesper class setup? Yo, I don't think I have, man. I don't know if I have. Honestly, though, I love the Razorback. The Razorback is just my weapon. This is just my gun. I should honestly play hardcore with this thing. We could drop some like dirty gameplays. Like think about it, chat. Think about how, like if we're getting like this good right now in like core, think about how well we're gonna do if we hop into hardcore. Like we could literally go off and drop some like world-class gameplays. Like we could do some absolute work against these guys. Think about that. Thanks to everyone that subbed. Yo, awesome, Casper. Hopefully you hit 200 subs, man. How do I send a class suggestion? Yo, Ethan, all you gotta do to send a class, bro, is type !class in the chat. Leave you a link to a Google form. You can submit it there. Yo, hold up. Is there still a guy in there? I think we killed him. We just gotta get some map control here again. Yo, wait, where was that guy? Was he in the corner? Damn. Is this my class? Yo, Pixel, it is, man. It actually is your class today. We're going absolutely off. 40 more likes? Yo, we're actually 40 likes away, guys, from being able to do the big box bundle opening. I told you guys in the chat that if we hit 200 likes on today's stream, I would do it live for you guys. I'd open up the big box bundle. I said at 200 likes, so once we hit 200 likes, I'll be sure to do that for you guys. Wait a minute. Absolutely shredding through everybody right now. Shoot. Did not want to die to him right there. Oh, yo, no. Get out of here. No, I don't want to auto mental on that. No, and of course we're getting shot from behind as well. What sensitivity do I play on? I play on a 14 sensitivity, bro. So the highest. Highest you can play in this game. That's what I'm on. It's pretty lit. Jake Plays, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, dude. Yo, I literally just slid right into that thing. 100K? What do you mean 100K, bro? Yo, that guy just got a feed with his thing. Holy crap, he just literally killed like everybody on the team. What the hell? That was insane. Did you guys see that feed that he just got with the Hellstorm? Is the class good? Yo, Pixel, man, it's absolutely insane. I just love the Razorback, bro. You give me the Razorback with Elo sight, everything ends. Everything ends for the other team. It's just all over. Yo, Jake, thank you very much for dropping a like, homie. I really appreciate it, man. Means a lot to me, bro. More guys over there? Doesn't look like it. I love the gameplay, mate. Yo, thank you, Newton. I really do appreciate that, homie. Guys, make sure you're going ahead and dropping a like for that gameplay right there. That was insane. 69 and 16. What the hell? We just went absolutely off. Let me go ahead and make sure I accept all friend requests as well, so I can make sure I play with new viewers right after this next game. Should be pretty lit. And thank you to all the viewers right now as well. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Lorenzo, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. King Savage. Hey, Hennis, I sent a class. It's OP Slayer. All right, bro. I'll be sure to check it out, man. Do I have the XM53? Just call me Gecko. Yo, Elias. Why would I call you Gecko if your name is Elias, man? What? And as 6 people left and my ping starts to spike and my weapon locks and I hide in a cabin and run to my brother's room and shut off his PS4, I get back and I'm alive and I win eventually. Yo, Billiard, that's awesome, man. That's just some good luck right there. Check leaderboards. You got royalty at that, didn't you? Yo, listen to me, Hennis. Weevil stock. Yo, only the best gaming, man. If you type !class in the chat, bro, it'll give you a link to a Google form. You can submit it there. Glad you like it. Yo, that's just an insane class setup, dude. I'm going to use it again, in fact. I'm going to use it again. Especially if we get Nuketown here, I'm definitely going to throw it on, because we can definitely get a much more beast gameplay with that. I think I'm going to change up the streaks a little bit, though, because that class setup all by itself is literally insane. Let's go ahead and just vote random here. I want to see if I can get something insane. And then right after this next game, guys, I'll be playing with a brand new set of viewers. So make sure that you guys go ahead, you're online, and ready to play. Should be pretty lit. And if you guys aren't friends with me yet, make sure you shoot me one, because I'll be playing with a brand new set of viewers right after this. So, should be pretty good. And I accept all friend requests, so seriously, do not be shy. I'll go ahead and accept all pending friend requests right now. And all of you guys who are in here right now, you guys are insane. Zeus died, RIP, hey, rip Zeus. Bro. Yo, wasn't that his dog, bro?
I'm so glad I got to finally play with you. And you are a really great YouTuber, I gotta say. You are the best Call of Duty Black Ops 2 player, big Black Ops 3 player. But I'm just having the pleasure. I am really great to have the pleasure to play with you.
Hey, thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate that. I really wish I could talk to these people in game, man. Honestly, these guys say some incredibly nice things, and I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. I don't even know who that guy was. I'm sorry. I don't even know what your username is in chat, because I was just out of AFK there for a second. Had to check the Discord for a clip. All right, I'll be sure to check it out. Caleb the Beast, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream. G Washington, what's his PSN? I'll put my PSN in the chat right now for you guys. Let's try to go off in this game. !PSN. Yo, we hit 200 likes. Yo, I'll be sure to change viewers right after this next game, bros. Right after this game, I'll be sure to change viewers. We have 166 likes, dude. We talk about chingy. You told me we got 200 likes on the stream. We have 166. Make sure that you guys go ahead and drop a like on it, though. When we hit 200 likes, we will be doing a big box bundle opening, which should be beast. Yo, Caleb Beast. Speaking of beastly stuff, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream.
You want a challenge?
Dark Matter? Yo, we should be getting more on a Dark Matter grind. You guys want me to try to get a... We gotta try to get a nuclear this game, man. We're playing uplink here. We're not running insanely good streaks for it, but it's alright. It is what it is. Was not expecting that guy to push that. I should do a class setup suggestion from Ethan Savage. Alright, bro. Yeah, I'll be playing with a brand new class setup right after this, dude, so don't worry.
They're gone.
Uplink achieved. Satellite reset.
That guy out of the way. How is there a guy in our spawn, chat? What are we doing? Love your vids, get the nuke. Yo, I'll try, Caleb. We'll do it. We're doing our best here, bro.
Demo KIA.
Yo, this song actually is lit right now. It's getting me hyped. Oh, come on. I didn't think. Wasn't paying attention to that guy right there. Yo, Fraser Corden, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, homie.
Hey,
How you doing, man?
Before you mute me, I like to say that you are a great YouTuber, you are a great Black Ops 2 player. This is KRNGHenis44 from the YouTube chat, by the way, KRNGHenis44. Yeah, well, I like to say that you are a great YouTuber, you are a great Black Ops 3 player, and I am glad to finally play with you. I know I've been sick the past 2 weeks, but I'm just really glad to finally play with you.
Hey, thank you very much, Kenny, man. I really do appreciate that, bro. Roman Atwood's Twitter. Yeah, didn't his dog die, bro? But didn't this happen like a couple days ago or something like that? I mean, I know it doesn't make it any less sad or anything, but I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's been news for a while. Hey, Hennis, how are you? Yo, Fraser, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. Really do appreciate it. What's that guy doing in their spawn, dude? Trying to figure out whether or not that guy's back there or not. I don't think he is. I think we're good. Yo, it's lit. Yo. Let's pop this. Damn, I'm all alone right over here. I am all alone. I gotta be smart here. No! Holy crap, I just got so lucky right there. His dog died 2 days ago? Yeah, I saw that. They added kill trading in Infinite Warfare. They're killing Call of Duty. Lol, no they did not. They didn't add kill trading. Are you serious, Bear? Did they seriously add that? Oh no, shoot! Yo, why was this guy in our spawn, bro? Yo, what's going on? Nut in my cheeks. How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Dude. We were so close to our freaking hater there, man. Such a shame, bro. Such a shame. All these spawns are gonna flip here, aren't they? Looks like they already are flipping. Yeah, lol, people are tweeting about it. Oh my god, dude, that's so sad. They just want to kill COD. I'm crying. I'm crying. Are you actually crying? That's just what I want to know. Okay, we only got one kill there. I think spawns have flipped here though.
Bad luck, Sumi.
Where are they, boys? Yo, what? Where was that guy, bro? Setup? Yo, this setup that I'm using right now, dude, this is absolutely crazy. Pixel suggested this a little bit ago in the chat. I forget exactly what he's got on it, but it's like, it's ELO, rapid fire, quick draw, fast mag, and something else. I think maybe grip or something like that. Hot Shots Gaming, what's up, man? Of course, there's a guy over there with the M8. The M8. Have you used my class, bro? I don't think so, Hot Shots Gaming. This is only like the third class that I've used so far in today's stream. Because I've used 2 class setups twice, but this one, man, is just absolutely crazy. I really like this class setup. We're going to have to play some hardcore with this class setup here pretty soon. I'll definitely be sure to continue to use you guys' class setup, though. This isn't a stream for me just to try to get a nuclear with this class setup, because I want to make sure I focus on your guys' class setups, too. I sent a slang class if you want to use it. Yo, thank you, Recent Search. I appreciate that, man. I'll be sure to check it out afterwards, bro. Alright, hopefully you can use mine. Yo, hopefully Hot Shots. Hopefully, man. Yo, what's up, Michael? How you doing today, homie? Welcome to the stream, man. Oh, God. Hate getting blinded by stuff like that, man. Now I can't even see. We just get destroyed. Raindrop. Drop top. Bring in Hennis to the top, top, top. Yeah, that's a good song, dude. That's a lit song. Not gonna lie. Yo, wait. I don't know why I turned my back on that guy. What am I drinking? It's just cranberry juice, bro. What college do you go to? University of Maine? Nah, I don't go to the University of Maine, bro. Ah, of course that guy got me. That guy just absolutely melted me, dude. Damn. Like, it really kind of, it so depends on what kind of lobby you get into, like how well you're actually able to use the positive. Like, that's really all it comes down to. Oh, of course there's a guy up there. You broke my you broke your clavicle today? Oh, dude, that sucks, man. Hey, well, I mean, at least you know how to play Call of Duty, bro. Why did you mute me, bro? I mute people, man, because sometimes, like, people just leave their mics on or something like that, and you hear all the background noise, or you hear them talk with their family or their friends or whatever, and it just gets a little bit irritating. So I turn it off just so it's a little bit easier for the stream to be able to concentrate. That's all. And so they can actually hear game sound. Can I suggest a class? You absolutely, K Beast. Absolutely, bro. 10 out of 10 you can. Yo, I gotta get out of here. Not in a good position right now at all. This gun is just so accurate, dude. That's the thing. That's what's so punishing about the Razorback. It's incredibly accurate. Oh, yep, I'm all out of ammo. I'd have to run, No, I need a Weevil. I need a Weevil. Or a VMP. I'll definitely take a VMP. Oh, it's got a silencer on it, too. Alright. Yo, what? Where'd this guy go? Where'd this guy go? Yo, what? Hold on, I'm very confused right now what is going on. Oh, thank God I didn't just die right there. Alright, we're 3 kills off of a hater. We could still technically try to get a beast gameplay here, guys. It's very unlikely, but we could still try. Hey, I just subbed. Yo, thank you, Jesse. I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you very much, Jesse, for that sub, homie. Appreciate it, man. It means a lot. Oh, God. Dude, and of course they call in a hostile hellstorm right over me. Razorback is the worst sub in the game. Lo, what are you talking about, bro? The Razorback is not the worst sub in the game. Worst sub in the game is like the Pharaoh, dude. The Pharaoh is like easily the worst sub in the game. What's going on, subs? How you doing today, man? You're going absolutely off right there. Thank you to all of you guys who are subscribing to the channel as well. I really do appreciate it. When you guys subscribe, you will see your name pop up right here below the my face cam, and you'll see the live YouTube sub count in the lower right-hand corner go up by 1 as well. Watching your stream makes me feel better. Hey, Pixel, that's awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that, dude. Yo, I just watched the guy run right by me, didn't I? I watched the guy with the ball run right by me. Yo, David, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, man. This guy's over here. I subscribe. Yo, thank you very much, Galaxy. I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Yo, what? Gotta push back here a little bit. It's Liddy, boys. Hopefully that's not enemy nade. Ah, shoot. Is there a 24/7 Nuketown 2065 playlist? Not, unfortunately, on Black Ops 3, man. I really wish there was, though. That'd be so dope. That'd be so lit, man. Damn, dude. You said Greg left Carnage? Yeah, Greg did leave Carnage, man. He did. He left this morning, or so, like, sometime early last night, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he left sometime last night. What's going on, Shadow Gaming? Welcome to the stream. You're a beast. Hey, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play with a brand new set of viewers right after this. And then what we're going to do is I'm also going to swap up the class setup as well. So we'll go ahead and use a slightly different class setup, kind of spice things up a little bit. So thank you for that Razorback class setup, man. That was Pixel's class setup. Like, holy crap. That was a really good class, man. That was crazy good. Let's go and use something of a different weapon category, though. So that was an SMG. Let's head to either an assault rifle or an LMG, or how about a shotgun? Shotgun may be pretty interesting. I'm kind of looking for an Argus class right now. Did anyone suggest an Argus class? Now that I said that, I bet I'm going to get like a ton of Argus class submissions, but let me go ahead and see here any Argus classes. I'm not seeing any. Nobody suggested an Argus class. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and rock with a a Man of War with a thermal sight. What on earth? Who thinks that's a good idea, bro? What? All right, let me go ahead and run with. I'm gonna run with the KRM class setup. Let's go ahead and run with this thing right here. This one actually looks pretty cool. This was suggested by Garrett Moore. So let's go ahead and rock with this class setup. We'll see how it goes. And I'm gonna go ahead and back out as well and play with brand new people. Even though we might get Nuketown uplink again, I know, that would be absolutely pretty lit, but Let me go ahead and take a picture of everybody who I just played with so I can make sure that I only allow brand new viewers to come in. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this. Alright, sick. I'm going to only allow brand new people to join here, so Kree, unfortunately, man, I already played with you. And let me go ahead and accept friend requests as well, so I can go ahead and allow as many of you guys to join up as possible. Quickly here, I'm probably going to have a full 6-man by the time I finish accepting all friend requests, but I'll still accept all of them nonetheless. If you guys haven't shot me a friend request on PS4 and you want to play with me, make sure you do that. You can get my PSN ID by typing !PSN in the chat and it should give it to you. Excuse me. Alright, let's go ahead and rock with this thing and see what it can get us. Hopefully we can get a decent gameplay with it. I'm hoping. We already have a full 6-man in here. Galaxy Lucas, I'm pretty sure I already played with you, man. Yeah, I played with you earlier. I know I played with you earlier. We just want to allow some new people to get in here, guys. So anybody who wants to join up right now, my NAT type is open, so you guys should be able to join up. But let's freaking go. Let me go ahead and configure this class setup. Lobby closed? No, the lobby's open, man. What's going on, Jake? How you doing today, dude? Welcome to the stream. KRM, Laser Sight, Fast Mag. KRM with Laser Sight. Where's Laser Sight? Laser Sight, Fast Mag, and Long Barrel. Ooh, we don't have a Long Barrel unlocked, unfortunately. Damn. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on, we'll just throw on Extended Mags then. Just throw on another attachment and hold that spot. And then we got Scavenger, Gung Ho, Tac Mask. Oh, so no perk 1. Scavenger, Gung Ho, and Tac Mask. We'll run with that. And then we got the Combat Axe, which I don't actually think we have unlocked. Yeah, unfortunately we don't. Oh, we do have an unlock token though, so let's go ahead and do that. You can get rid of that though. And then what do we got for Cerberus, Wraith, and Hater? Damn, a lot of you guys are running with the Cerberus, Wraith, Hater setup. That's actually crazy. Cerberus, Wraith, and Hater. Perfect. Let's go ahead and rock with that. Any of you guys who want to join up on my session right now, feel free to do so. If you guys are having trouble joining, I may just have to like restart my game or something like that. Is the stream offline? No, man, the stream should be online. Alright, let's go ahead and see how many likes you guys have dropped in the stream. Because remember, I said if we hit 200 likes on today's stream, I'll go ahead and do that opening. We're currently 18 likes away, guys, from doing a big box bundle opening. So if we hit it today, that'd be absolutely phenomenal. I would really appreciate that. 18 likes away, boys. Let's see if we can hit it. Let's see if we can hit it. Is there any way to join Carnage Storm Gaming right now, man? Carnage is always kind of like in a constant recruit looking for new people. There are some changes coming to Carnage though soon, so make sure you just be on the lookout for that. Hennis, thanks for letting me play with you today. Hey, Kenny, man, no problem, bro. I really do appreciate all the kind words, man, from earlier. I really do appreciate it. It's not joinable? All right, let me go ahead and restart my game real quick. It will allow some new people to join up. My party type is open, or my NAT type is finally open. I was able to get that open with the IT department recently, so that was absolutely lit. I'm super hyped about that, which is really, really nice, but it is what it is. Hello, everyone. I liked the video. Hey, thank you, Zombie Killer. I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. I'm a boss, D's nuts. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. What do I record with? Panda OP. I record with OBS Studio. It says the stream is offline. It shouldn't say the stream is offline. Can you guys, like, type 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me right now? Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. That usually works. I usually get a ton of spams in the chat. Yo, I'm a boss, D's nuts. Thank you very much for that follow today, homie. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Pro Hennis Army. Thank you for your support today. I really do appreciate that very, very much. Sorry, Hennis, I wasn't in here earlier. I was at school. Hey, no worries, Shadow Gaming. I appreciate you stopping by, man. A lot of you guys are typing 1 in the chat. There we go. Yeah, you guys can see me. You guys can see me and hear me fine. What are you guys talking about? Those guys who were in here saying, I can't hear you. You guys can hear me. You guys are good. Alright, let's go ahead. Did we set up the class setup? No, the class setup didn't save. Of course it did, man. It never saves. That never happens when I have to restart my app. It's so frustrating. Alright, KRM. And then what do we have on? We had on Laser Sight, Fast Mag. And we threw on Extended Mag instead because we didn't have Long Barrel, unfortunately. And we got rid of this. And then we had Scavenger, Gung Ho, and Tac Mask. So pretty interesting class setup if you ask me. And then we had the Combat Axes are lethal. We were able to unlock that. And then we had the Cerberus, Wraith, and the Hater as our score streak. Cerberus, Wraith, Hater score streaks. And then for our specials, what do we have on? We had the Ripper, which I don't think I actually have unlocked right now. And I don't even think we have a token for. Yeah, unfortunately we do not. So we're just going to stick with the... we'll spice it up here a little bit, actually. Let's go ahead and throw in the sights, just since we've been using the other one recently. We've been using kinetic armor a lot. So my party type is... my party is 100% open now, guys. So hopefully you guys will be able to join up and we can go ahead and hop into another game. Let's get it, boys. Let's get it. Crazy Kid, yeah, if you guys are still having trouble joining my session, you guys may just have to restart the app yourselves, because sometimes if you try to join my session and you crash or something like that, and then you try to join me after I restart, then sometimes it may not work for you guys. What did the people say? What do you mean, what did the people say, man? I watch the stream every day. Hey, thank you, Pixel. I really do appreciate that, homie. Thank you very much. Crazy Kid, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Thank you to all of you guys who are dropping subs right now as well. We're currently 15 subscribers away from 22,200. absolutely crazy. Really kind of a cool milestone. So thank you all very, very much for that. You are a huge inspiration, Hennis. I will try and support you as much as I can and always be here for you when you stream. Thank you, your boy. I appreciate that, man. Disturbed Ninja, this is PS4 gameplay, bro. Unfortunately, this ain't no Xbox One. And when if you guys do go ahead and decide to subscribe to the channel, you will see your names pop up right here below my face cam, and you'll see the live YouTube sub count in the lower right-hand corner go up by 1 as well. I really do appreciate it. Jay Bernie, what's going on? Welcome to the streams. I watch your streams every day since forever. Ethan Savage, like literally from the moment you were born, you're watching my streams. It's pretty lit. Legend has it that some of you guys have been watching my streams in the womb. Hennis, you're awesome. Hey, thanks, Cuber Kid. Appreciate it, man. It's true. Yo, were you able to get it in? Hey, it's lit, bro. It's lit. All right, so I think I'm playing with brand new people right now. Let's go ahead and hop into a Chaos Mosh Pit. And we're going to go ahead and use the KRM, which I'm hoping will actually fare us a little bit nicer than what it was before. The KRM is not my favorite weapon. I'm not a huge shotgun guy, but we'll see how it fares us right here. We'll see how we do with it. How do you get the PS4 gameplay in OBS? I use a capture card, so I can't actually show it to you right now because it's behind. It's all configured and wired into my setup, but it's a little capture card that goes, so like picture the HDMI that goes from the back of your PS4 or your console or whatever it is. Instead of going from the back of your PS4 directly to your TV, it goes from the PS4 to the capture card, and then another HDMI port from the capture card to your monitor so you can actually see what you're playing. So it just acts as like a pass-through, and then that capture card has a USB port that goes from the capture card to your PC, so your PC can actually see your setup, and then that's how you can add it into OBS. So it's pretty cool. That's honestly the best way I can explain it. What's going on, Funny Fangs? How you doing today? I do remember you, Funny Fangs, actually. Welcome to the stream. It's all about PS4. Yo, true, Michael, true. What capture card do I use and where did I buy it? I got it for Christmas. Santa made it for me in the North Pole, and it's the Razor Ripsaw capture card. It's pretty lit capture card. It's like 180 bucks or something like that. It does 1080p, 60 FPS, the whole 9 yards. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice capture card. Fastmag, we do have Fastmag on it, BG. Hennis, can you play next? What do you mean, can I play next? Can I use your class setup next, Fraser? Is that what you mean? Yo, BG, if you want me to use a class, bro, you can't just type it right there in the chat because it's going to scroll by and then I'll forget it. So if you want to suggest a class, I'll actually put it in the chat right there for you. Exclamation point class gives you the class setup that you can actually, or gives you the Google form that you can go ahead and fill out to give me some a class for me to run. Someone just said we hit 200 likes. Did we hit it? Oh, we're 1 like away, boys. Literally 1 like away from 200 likes. And if we hit 200 likes, I'll be doing the big box bundle opening. So I guess we're going to end up having to do it. Damn. Yeah, there's only 19 hours left, so it would probably make sense if we did it right now. We actually have enough for a rare supply drop. Let's go ahead and open this up right now. See what we get. Maybe this is bad luck, opening up a class setup. Oh, we're going to get some sort of Dracon skin. Yeah, I got the haptic camo. The Dracon. I'm in the KM44. Yeah, bro, if you want to submit a class, just type exclamation point class in the chat. That should give it to you. I'm joining with your gamer tag. Yo, Jay Bernie. If you type exclamation point PSN in the chat, it'll give you my PSN ID. Please don't session join during the game, though, guys, just because that's a little bit frustrating. If you guys, you know, try to go try hard against me or something like that, it's a little bit annoying. But I appreciate all of you guys who do join up on my session when we actually start at the very beginning of the lobby. 206 likes, guys. All right. Looks good. Let me go ahead and actually just switch screens right here. So we are going to do the big box bundle opening. Thank you guys for 200 likes in the stream. That's absolutely phenomenal. Let me go ahead and purchase some COD points here. I'm just switching my scenes so we don't share too much. I joined you, but you left and then I couldn't join again. Yo, I'm sorry, Monkey Elite. I didn't mean to do that to you, man. Yo, Cryptic, what's up, homie? 206 on my screen? Yeah, that's how many I saw too, bro. I saw 206. That's absolutely phenomenal. You guys are insane. I just want to go ahead and make sure I can do this purchase without, like, you know, sharing any information by accident or anything like that. Look at my YouTube channel. Yo, Jesper. I'll be sure to check out. Yo, if you guys ever want me to check out your YouTube channel, any of you guys, all you gotta do is type or just shoot me your channel over on Twitter or something like that, and I can go ahead and check it out. All right, let me go ahead and switch back. So we got 5,000 COD points now, guys. We are all set. So we should be able to go ahead and open that up right after this next game. So right after this next game, we will go ahead and do the big box bundle opening. Should be pretty lit. We'll see what we're able to get. Hopefully something good. Hennis, have insane S&D clip. You have an insane S&D clip, bro? Yo, if you want to check it out, man, you should shoot it at me on Twitter or something like that. Can you answer my PlayStation message? Yo, Shadow Gaming, absolutely, bro. Yeah, it's been a while since I've checked PlayStation messages, so I'm sorry about that, but I'll be sure to check them out soon, bro. Hopefully after the stream or something like that, sometime later today, I'll be sure to check them out. Hopefully you get some new weapons. Hopefully, bro. I really want the PPSH or the M16. That's what I really, really want. That would be lit. It's all I really, really want right now. All I want. That's all I want. Who won the giveaway? A guy named Dylan from Canada. I had his email address and I shot him an email a couple days ago. So we're in the process of getting that right now. What's going on, Nathan? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today, dude? But I really do appreciate all of you guys who entered the giveaway. You guys were crazy. 209 likes. Yo, Baba Ops, welcome to the stream, man. How you doing today, brother? Welcome. Can you put the player limit to 7? Next, it's my dream to join you. Yo, I'm sorry, man. We can't actually have a 7-man party because these games need to be balanced. And they're all 6v6 games. So, unfortunately, we can't do that. Hashtag like spike. Yo, true. If you guys haven't dropped a like in the stream yet, make sure you do that. It's pretty lit. How do I join your lobby? Yo, bro, just make sure you're friends with me on PS4 and be ready to join up on my session when I'm playing with new viewers. I'll be playing with a brand new set of people 2 games from now, which will be pretty lit. Right after this game, actually, I am going to be going ahead and doing the big box bundle opening. So make sure you guys are ready for that. That's going to be absolutely lit. Azex, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Cuber Kid, how you doing? Tandy Games, welcome to the stream. How you doing, Raise Panda? Welcome. Joey Whifflefart, or I almost called you Joey Whifflefart. That's kind of weird. Moved on to Twitch from YouTube. Yo, AlexJP11HD. What's up, man? Yo, yeah, if you guys want to watch on, excuse me, Twitch or YouTube, does not matter to me. How much delay does this show that you start playing the match? I don't know how much the delay is, man. What's going on, Raise Panda? Raise Panda just typed in the chat and said, hey. So I don't know. You can kind of do like a time comparison from that. I don't really know if that'll help you out. What's going on, Joseph? How you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. All right, we're just going to go ahead and rush these guys. Get that nice juicy headshot, baby. Good luck, charm. Yo, true, dude. True. Guys are all over here. Anybody else pushing back there? Doesn't look like it. Yo, let's go ahead and try to kill this guy before a teammate does. No, where'd he go? Where'd he go? I think my teammate just wrecked him, unfortunately. I wanted to get the kill. I want to sub to you. Yo, Fraser, I would really appreciate a sub, man. Every time you guys subscribe, you will see your names pop up right below my face cam, and you'll see the live YouTube sub count in the lower right-hand corner go up by 1 as well, which is pretty cool. Yo, what? What's up, man? Yo, we're playing a little bit of Safeguard, dudes. We only get 50 points per kill. It's absolutely disgusting. Oh, we get absolutely wrecked by a KN, man. A KRM. Damn. Sucks to get killed by a weapon they're using. It's kind of demoralizing in a way, you know? Kind of proves that that person just had the upper hand there. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting anybody to be there, and he had good reaction time. Yo, Baba Ops is back, man. You're an absolute legend, Baba Ops. Literally an absolute legend. Damn. I didn't want to shoot right there because I didn't know if I'd be able to make contact with him. Oh, shit. Dude, what were they all doing back there? Did you guys see that? Yo, Super Sashi, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I was scrimming. Hey, honestly, Bob Ops, no worries, bro. You want me to use a Brecci, the Gaming Pro? Yo, if you guys, whatever class setup you guys want me to use, if you have a specific one that you really are interested in me using, then make sure you just go ahead and type ! Class in the chat. It'll give you a link to a Google form. You can fill that out, ship me a class setup, and I'll try to use it. No content yet, but I'm working on it. Alright, man, sounds good. Try to push in right here. I typed PSN in. Alright, bro, sounds good, man. Yeah, shoot me a friend request if you guys haven't done so already. I accept all friend requests, so seriously do not be shy. And hopefully we'll be able to have some fun playing together in the future sometime. Damn. We won that round hella fast. Damn. My team capped really quick there. Jesus. Was not expecting that. Hennis, I got throat cancer. Do you really, man? That's horrible, dude. Is throat... Wait a minute. Are you triggering me? Like, are you joking me? Like, I'm not trying to diminish the fact that you actually have throat cancer, but like... Never mind. No, I know what you're saying. Sorry. Just took me a second there. I thought you were... Never mind. That's horrible, man. Honestly. Hopefully the recovery process isn't too hard, man. Hennis, you're sick at COD? Hey, thank you, RB Best. Appreciate it, man.
Robot is online. Disable it. Friendly care package incoming.
Yo, thank you to all the subs as well. Thank you very much, Latin Swag, for that sub. I really do appreciate it. Yo. What's up, dude? We're just gonna go ahead and wreck all these guys. Hopefully they'll be pushing in here, maybe. Yo, what? He just fall into water? Did he just fall off the map? I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he just killed himself, bro. What? Yo, guys, we're 1 subscriber away from 22,200. If we could hit that today, that'd be absolutely phenomenal. I'd really appreciate that. Oh, I didn't realize he was up there. What's up, dude? How is that a headshot? I shot that guy's, like, toenail. Dude, of course that guy was right there. Can you please put your gamer tag in the chat? Yo, absolutely, Jay Bernie. ! PSN gives you my PSN ID, boys. Did you get my class? Yo, BG, I most likely did, man. Absolutely. Yo, 20,200 subscribers. Thank you guys for all the support today. You guys are literally insane. Thank you. Yo, if we had long barrel on this thing, I feel like we'd be getting way more one taps, especially at long distance. Like, think about it. We've gotten some pretty dirty one taps as it is, but like, we'd be doing so much better, I feel. Oh, wait a minute. That was a teammate. Lol. Oh, damn. That guy's got to be a little bit triggered. I mean, I would be. Oh, freaking P, dude. Oh, God. Yeah, of course that guy was able to get me from that distance, man. Watch the count. Yo, yeah, right in the lower right-hand corner, guys, of the stream, that is my live YouTube subscriber count. So every single time you guys subscribe, you'll see that number go up. It's pretty cool. I think this guy's pushing this way. Yo, don't worry, teammate. I got your back. What? No. Oh, my God. Yo, we just got to get, like, fast mag on this thing, man. If we can pump that a little bit faster, we'd definitely be getting more kills right now. I feel like that's what we need. I subscribe, yo, at 22,200. I appreciate that, Panda Gummy. Thank you very much, man. Your KD is lit. My God, good job. Yo, 13 and 6, bro. What are you talking about? This is not a lit KD, dude. We could definitely be doing a lot better. Yo, Michael, what's up? 22,200. You guys are insane with your support recently. I really do appreciate it. Dude, all these guys using the freaking KRM, man, it's crazy. I love you, bro. Yo, I love you too, Funny Franks. You're the kindest YouTuber I know, because all the other ones swear a lot. I appreciate that. Hey, honestly, man. Honestly, bro. I like, you know, sort of keeping the little bit more of a clean stream for you guys. It makes it a little bit more fun and laid back. I don't know. Oh, God. Yo, there we go. Slide right in there. Oh, yo. What's up, dude? Was that another enemy? No, that's a teammate. All right, we're good. My whole head was like moving around there. It's like, what's going on? What's going on? This guy's gonna be over here, hopefully. I'm guessing. What's up, dude? KRM is such a cool weapon, man. You guys want me to show you my combat record after this? I guess I could, bro. I could try to show you my combat record. Wanting to join? Yo, Richard? Yeah, man. I'll be playing with a brand new set of viewers, I think, right after this game, man. So. Of course, I just get a little bit closer to that guy, and then he's able to get the shot off on me, bro. Of course. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna pull out my scythe here. As soon as we pull that out, man. As soon as we pull that out, you're like Ali A. Oh my goodness, man. I appreciate that very much, dude. Comparing me to Ali A, are you joking me? Ali A is a legend, dude. He's an absolute legend. You can't top Ali A. He's one of the most OG Call of Duty YouTubers out there, if not the most OG. I mean, you got T Martin. I mean, think about some of those other guys, too, that were really big back in the day. White Boy 7th Street started off as a COD YouTuber. Think about frickin', I don't know, who else? Like, Birdman used to be, like, strictly Call of Duty. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. It's crazy to see how far everything's come, man. It's crazy. 200 likes? Yo, I really do appreciate all the likes on today's stream, guys. We will be doing the big box bundle opening right after this game, which is going to be pretty lit. And then after that, I will be playing with a brand new set of viewers. You're probably the most of? I'm definitely not the most OG, man. Are you joking me? I cannot be the most OG. FaZe? Oh, yeah, FaZe. How could I forget FaZe, right? Nice as he killing that guy. I'm pretty sure they're all still spawning over here, so we should be able to get a couple more free kills. Maybe if we rush into their spawn fast enough, except it's all teammates back here. Anybody down here? Hello? Ah, nope. Nobody at all. Are you on PlayStation? I am Kyle 3.0. Yes, indeed. That's interesting. We've had a Kyle in the stream, and now we've got a Kyle 3.0. Damn, you're probably the most OG. Dude, I'm definitely not the most OG, man. Definitely not the most OG. I can go ahead and show you guys my my KD right after this if you guys are curious, but we're also going to go ahead and do that big box bundle opening, which I'm hoping is going to be lit. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and pause the music here really quick, because I don't want any music to be playing when we're doing the opening. Just to kind of keep it a little bit more simple, because I'll probably add music afterwards, because I'm probably going to end up uploading this as a video. But thank you very much for that KRM class setup. Garrett Moore, I appreciate that class setup submission, man. Thank you very, very much. Garrett, I don't know if you're still in here, man, but I appreciate the class setup submission. Nonetheless, homie, thank you very much. Hennis, I know, Dylan, do you actually shadow gaming? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Shot Omar, what's up? Welcome to the stream. The Market J, dude, I don't like the Market J. That's true. He is a really OG guy. I don't know how long he's been playing for though. Like, how long has he been doing YouTube? Like, does he go as far back as like T Martin and all those guys? And I don't know. Some of those guys even go even farther back than that. Like, you talk, think about like Oh, who was that guy that like did drugs and then like had to stop doing YouTube or whatever? He got weird. His name began with a J. It wasn't J Nasty. Who am I trying to think of? Oh my gosh, I'm completely blank on his name. I can picture his face. X-Jaws. That was his name. Thank you, Henis, for finally thinking of that. All right, let me go ahead and back out. I'm just going to leave alone here. I'm going to make my party privacy closed right here just so nobody joins up. We don't get any like screaming in the background. We're doing this big box bundle opening. All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We have 5,000 COD points on this account right now to do a big box bundle opening. There's only 19 hours left of this right now in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. By the time you guys see this on my YouTube channel, it's probably going to be 100% over with. But the idea, what Treyarch is offering right here in the black market is we can open up 5,000 COD points worth of supply drops at 75% off, which means we're going to be getting 100 rare supply drops in this opening right now, which is literally going to be insane. So I'm praying to dear God that in one of these, we'll be able to get the PPSH or the M16. Let me go ahead and just quickly review with you guys the creative class that I've got here. I want to just go ahead and show you guys the weapons that I do not have. So we kind of know what to expect here as we go into this opening. Zetro, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. So as far as the SMGs go, the only SMG that we do not have is currently the PPSH, which is probably the weapon that I would like the most. I really want the PPSH. If we could get that, be absolutely phenomenal. And then we go over here to the assault rifle category. The only weapon that we do not have is the M16. These weapons were both released on the same day. Either one of these weapons would literally be insane. Move over here to the shotguns. We have all the shotguns, have all the LMGs, and we have all the snipers. Now, if we go over here to the secondaries, the pistols, we are missing the marshals, which we do not have, so the marshals would be cool to get. We have the launchers. The melee weapons, I'm not sure exactly what we're missing here. I'm pretty sure we're missing like 5 of them or so. Yeah, exactly 5. So we're missing the wrench, the iron gym, the buzz cut, the buzz saw, whatever this thing is called. I actually forget. I completely forget. And we get the missing the Nightbreaker as well. And then we have the NX Shadow Cloud, but we don't have the D13 sector. So, keeping all those weapons in mind, let's go ahead and begin this opening. Ladies and gentlemen, spending 5,000 COD points to go ahead and get 100 free rare supply drops. Even though we spent money on the COD points, it's technically free when you think about it. Not really. It's actually not free at all. I don't even know what I'm saying. Normal Freak, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? I'm really hoping for the PPSH. Ladies and gentlemen, drop a like on the stream right now. Drop a like on the video. If we hit 100 likes on this video, I might actually do another one of these openings at some point here on my channel, which would be absolutely insane. Can you buy more than one big box bundle? I don't even know if you can, but that's what we're going to be trying to do. We're going to open up maybe 1 or 2 of these. I'm not really sure, especially if the offer expires in 19 hours. We may want to buy another one just so we have one to go ahead and do another opening with, which would be really insane. You got the Raven's Eye and a common. Dude, if I could get the Raven's Eye, that would actually be pretty dope. I really, really want, though, the PPSH. If we got the PPSH, hands down, I'd be the happiest YouTuber of all time. So, hopefully this finishes getting me my COD points at some time here. I feel like we've been waiting here a while. Let's see, what's today? Tuesday? Maybe at some point here we'll be able to get it. I sent you a friend request. Yo, Michael, I'll be sure to go ahead and accept friend requests right after this game. Or right after I do this opening, man. I'll be sure to go ahead and accept friend requests. Tweedledee, tweedledee-dum. Yeah, you can buy more than one. You can actually buy more than one. Yo, lit. We may actually have to buy another one, boys. We'll see, though. I don't know. That'd be so much money to spend. All right, should we go ahead and open up the COD points? Ladies and gentlemen, they're ready to open. Let's go ahead and do it. Thank you very much, Joseph Rusher, for that sub. Hopefully, we can use you as good luck here for this very first opening. And we got absolutely nothing. We got one rare, and we got 2 commons, which is not what we want. Let's do another opening here. I don't want to like speed through these because I don't want to like, we got to savor the moment of having these COD points, bro, and having the opportunity, the possibility of getting the PPSH. That's what we really need. We have 98 supply drops. Is this going to be it? Oh, I thought that was going to be a DLC weapon, bro. I actually got pretty hyped right there. And then we got the Jackhammer, the Haymaker 12 Quick Draw variant, something I've been wanting for an extremely long time. That's pretty cool. Just kidding. Quinn, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Hashtag get Henis the PPSH. Yo, true. If we could get Henis the PPSH, dude, Treyarch would literally make me the happiest person on the planet. I honestly thought that was a DLC weapon. That looked like the arm, didn't it, for a second there? The Roadkill calling card. Looks pretty dope. But unfortunately, it's not what we actually ended up getting. The supply drop's taking a little bit longer than usual to open up. Seems a little bit awkward here, but... Hashtag pray for Henis to get the PPSH. That's all we need right now. Just the PPSH, and I'd go ahead and make a video with it. I'd be the happiest guy on the planet. That'd literally be all I need. Or the M16. The M16 would also be pretty cool. I'm seeing an epic Argus flash over there. We're not going to be able to get it. We're going to get a new piece of theme, though. That's actually pretty dope. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. I'm the good luck charm. Remember? AT Shoots. Oh, yo, true. Alex JP. Yo, AT Shoots. I remember your username, man. You're definitely going to give me some good luck as well. Keep going, keep going. Hashtag PPSH. Yeah, if you guys type hashtag PPSH in the chat and you drop a like in the stream, I think it's scientifically proven to help improve my chances of actually getting it. How many screens do I have? I just have one screen, man, where I see chat, you know, follower donation messages and all that, and I actually see OBS, so I can actually make sure that everything is appearing fine. And then I have my main screen right here, which just shows my game. So only 2 screens. I just have my laptop and then my monitor. All right. I thought I saw the Raven's Eye in that middle one there for a second, but apparently not. Hey, Hennis, how's your day been? Yo, JK Gamer, it's going pretty great, dude. I'm really hoping that we're not going to go ahead and waste 5,000 COD points yet again and get absolutely nothing. I mean, we got some DLC weapons last time, but what we really wanted was the PPSH or the M16, which we did not get. I'm hoping we get at least one of those today. That'd be awesome. Thank you to all of you guys who are subscribing to the channel as well. If you guys have not subscribed yet, make sure you do that. You will see your name pop up right here below my face cam, and you'll see the live YouTube sub count in the lower right-hand corner go up by 1 as well. So it really does help support the stream. We're on the road to 22,220 subscribers. I feel like that's our next goal. You know, just like 22222. That's just kind of cool to hit a milestone like that. So it's just all 2s throughout the whole thing. Another epic Argus coming, but we're not going to get anything epic because that's always what happens. Boar, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Hashtag Hennis is a penis. I don't know if that's the hashtag that we should be using. Doesn't that give me bad luck, I feel? Maybe? Do I have the hater unlocked? I do, Shot Omar. Yes, I do. Yo, Kyle 3.0. Thank you for that sub, homie. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Literally getting absolutely nothing right now. So unfortunate, chat. Ooh. Okay. All right. It's a legendary, so we can't really be too upset. But then again, it is a legendary attachment. So we do have the right to be a little bit upset by that. Especially since it's not cool. I subbed in, it didn't pop up on screen. Yo, Pure Games, I appreciate your sub. Thank you very much. Sometimes there is a little bit of a delay on it, but sometimes also the usernames don't pop up either. So I appreciate your support nonetheless, man. I'm going to go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt and just assume that you actually did subscribe, which I really do appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, we just got the ice camo for the Weevil. You guys know the ice camo, or excuse me, the Weevil being my favorite gun in this game. So we might actually have to throw that on. Maybe that camo will give us some good luck here in some gameplays. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We currently have 78 supply drops more to go, but we're going to have a crap ton of crypto keys to open up here after this as well, which maybe we'll actually be able to get some. We just got the HLX. Called it, baby. We already had the HLX4, but that's still pretty dope that we were able to get the HLX. It's actually still pretty cool. I subbed good luck. Thank you very much, Bob Steve. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, dude. Use my class yet? Hotshots? I don't believe I have, man. No, I've only used like just a couple classes today. So we got the HLX4, so that's at least some luck that we're getting some DLC weapons here in this game. But we really want some of the new ones, right? We really want the PPSH or the M16. That's what the doctor is ordering right now, just for happiness, eternal happiness. That's all we need. Can I have a shout out? Yo, shout out to Nathan Smith. Thank you very much for stopping by. Really do appreciate it. We already have the HLX4 though, man. Damn. Imagine if that was the PPSH. That could have been it. Like, the algorithm could have rolled that slightly differently and given me a DLC weapon, and it could have been the PPSH. But nope. And it screwed me over. Hennis, do I use Streamlabs? I do use Streamlabs, yep. It's actually my favorite streaming service to use, bro. I absolutely love them. I have a ton of tutorials on my channel, and more coming out pretty soon as to how to actually use Streamlabs and take full advantage of it. So it's pretty darn cool. Not gonna lie. Can I have your kids? Yo, Antonio, absolutely, dude. Hit me up. Slide into my DMs. I've been subbed a long time, and I told my friends to sub. Hey, thank you, The Gaming Pro. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. A double epic. Damn. I will take that. How much does 5,000 crypto keys cost? I'm not at home right now. 5,000 COD points costs $40. So it's not too bad. And it's a pretty sweet deal when you think about it. We're getting 100 rare supply drops. That's actually really, really good. It's actually a pretty sweet deal. I thought that was a deal, and I thought that was the Malice. Didn't that look like the Malice there for a second? But unfortunately not. What's my favorite food? Steak. Hands down. Gotta love steak, man. I got the wrench in the Raven's Eye from a common. Nice. Dude, so many of you guys get freaking common drops, dude. It's so dumb. You get like such good weapons out of common drops, and I'm over here getting haptic camos for the Shiva with 66 drops left. That's a lot of money. Yeah, it's not too bad. Like, when you do the math though, and you consider what we usually get, like if you do some quick math, well, hold on, let's do some quick math here. All right, let me pull up my calculator here. So 5,000 COD points, that costs $40, right? You divide that by 200, which is what it usually costs you to go ahead and get. That's how much it usually costs to open up a run where supply drop. That only gives you 25 supply drops. So this is essentially you're spending $40 for the equivalent of actually spending $160. Usually. So it's a pretty sweet freaking deal when you think about it. These are taking so long to open up, dude. It's awkward. I got the PPSH out of a common supply drop. So many of you guys have come into the stream to tell me that. I wonder how many of you guys are actually telling me the truth, you know? Like, maybe we do. Maybe you guys did actually get out of a common supply drop, and maybe you guys are just messing with me. I don't know. Dream Arrow, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Nerd lull. Dude, that's just math. That's just being smart with your money. You gonna get the PPSH? Trust me, my luck is sick. All right, bro. Hopefully I'll be able to get the PPSH. Got the Prestige camo for the Razorback. You guys know we were just killing it with the Razorback in a couple games right there. You guys gave me some literally insane class setups, which is pretty lit. I'm telling the truth. All right, FPS Stone Crusher. I'll have to believe you, man. Just kidding, bro. Yo, thank you, Dream. Appreciate it, man. I'm just messing with you, bro. You're not a nerd. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am a nerd, 110%. I do YouTube because I enjoy it. That's a pretty nerdy thing to do. Should I do it? I have $237. Up to you, man. Hey, if you want to, if you're like Call of Duty and you like getting the new DLC weapons, then I would definitely go for it, man. The benefit for me here is that I can go ahead and hopefully make this into a video and share it with you guys, because I just like making YouTube content, setting it around Call of Duty. But yeah, man. Hey, if that's something you want to do, then absolutely, definitely go for it. Yo, what's up, Quartz? Welcome back to the stream, homie. Thank you very much for stopping by. Yo, iCaroFaze, how you doing today? Welcome to the stream. You're brand new. Welcome to the stream. I've never seen you in the chat before, so I will actually have to agree with you. I do believe you are new. Yo, Jace, what's up, man? Welcome back to the stream. Jace, you were in here for a long time last night, man. We were doing that at the H1 stream. That was crazy. Didn't get a whole lot of luck, but it is what it is. BO3 is my favorite game. Yo, Ethan Savage, I'd have to agree with you on that, man. As far as like Call of Duty goes right now, especially Call of Duty, this is definitely my favorite game. We gotta take it slow here, not just burn through all of these openings. We want to actually savor these moments here. Well, let's take a moment to actually see how many we have left. We have 53 supply drops left, so we're not even halfway done with this yet. Hopefully, we'll be able to get maybe the PPSH in one of these. And then, if worse comes to worse, and we don't get any drops, we don't get anything out of any of these drops that we're opening up right here, hopefully, maybe we'll be able to get the PPSH out of one of the bonus crypto keys that we'll duplicate right after this anyways. Guys, we're currently only 4 subscribers away from 22,222 subscribers. So if we could hit that today, that would be absolutely phenomenal. We got 4 more subscribers to go. When you guys subscribe to the channel, you will see your name pop up right here below my face cam, and you'll see the live YouTube sub count in the lower right-hand corner go up by 1 as well. So I would really appreciate it if we could hit that. Do you remember me from H1Z1 last night? Yo, Quartz, I do remember you, man. Yes, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. What's your favorite gun? The Weevil, man. Absolutely love the Weevil. Out of DLC weapons, though, if I were allowed to include DLC weapons, it would have to be the PPSH, even though I've never even used it before. That's how much I love this weapon. Alex Wilcox, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? I am back. Yo, XBG, welcome back to the stream. Hennis, open up. Yo, we got the Iron Gym, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so that's another DLC weapon. That's our second one. We've already gone through 52 drops here, and we've only gotten 2 DLC weapons. But the Iron Gym is the first weapon that we've gotten today that we actually do not have. So when you have 37 drops left, you will get your PPSH. That's a pretty bold prediction, man. That's a pretty bold prediction. I don't know. You guys think that's possible? Oh, yo, Fury Song? I could have sworn I just saw the Fury Song flashing right there in the middle. Maybe we did. I don't know.
Nice. Very nice.
Hit that sub button for the legend. Yo, true. If you guys subscribe to the channel, you will see your names pop up on screen, and it will also help me get the PPSH. Only 1 sub away from 22222 subs. That's pretty crazy, man. That's actually a pretty dope milestone. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to like screenshot that after I go back in the stream. That's actually pretty dope. Oh, someone just unsubscribed. What is that? What's going on, Jack? Welcome to the stream, homie. How you doing today? I was here all night for the H1 stream. Yo, you were Shadow Gaming. A lot of you guys actually stick through like the whole thing. We shooting for like 3.5 hours or something like that. That was crazy. That was literally crazy. We got the Gorgon, yep. Yo, 22222 subscribers. Thank you very much, guys, for all the support. Really appreciate it. Smokes, yo, I'm new to around here, and I subbed, and I also opened up the 100 supply drops on Xbox, and you got the M16 Peacekeeper HLX RSA lol hashtag good luck. Yo, dude, I'm already on a bit of a worse streak than you, dude. You've already got that much stuff. I haven't freaking, like, I've gotten the Iron Gym, dude. That's the only new DLC weapon that I've gotten today that I did not have before. I had the HLX, and I did get that as well, but we already had the HLX. Which sucks. Yo, Hennis, try to hit 6 clips with the Locust and I'll donate $5,000. If I hit 6 clips with the Locust, you'll donate $5,000? I bet, dude. $5,000? I've never seen a $5,000 donation. I've never seen a $1,000+ donation to a Call of Duty streamer. I've never seen that before. I've seen it to some other streamers on Twitch, like some of the really big guys like Summit and Tim and Lyric and Soda Poppin', of course, and all those guys, but never to a Call of Duty streamer, man. With 84 viewers? Hell nah, dude. What's up? What's going on, Lonely Carrot? How you doing today, man? 37 drops left. Didn't someone say if we get on our 37th drop, or was it our 39th? If we get the PPSH.
I just launched my title.
Did you mean for your laptop to fall?
Nope.
Oh, rip.
Quality.
R.I.P. On 33 left, you'll get it? All right, Lance. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. Let's see what we're at right now. The PPSH at the 12th supply drop? Yo, dude, can I donate 120 euros or 120 pounds? Yo, you can, man. I'd be really surprised if you did donate that much money. That'd be insane. Hashtag RIP Matrix. Yo, what's up, Hennis? What's going on? The only the best gaming. How you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. Wraith Clan. Yo, how are you guys? I'm doing pretty great, dude. Doing a little bit of an opening here. Not something that I expected to do at the beginning of the stream. But, no.
Hi, my name is Bob, and I like trains.
John Killer coming in with a $1 donation saying, hi, my name is Bob, and I like trains. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a Bob spam in the chat, I guess? Not John Killer, we can get a Bob spam in the chat. Thank you very much, Bob, for that $1 donation. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob, the legend himself. I'm here for the whole stream. Yo, thank you very much, Pixel. I appreciate it. Aaron, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Peacekeeper at 18 left. Yo, bro, we already have the Peacekeeper, though, man. I don't want the Peacekeeper again, dude. That's not what I need. Yo, look at Bob just getting spammed down the chat right there. No one's spamming John. Everyone's just spamming Bob. Even though John technically donated and said his name was Bob. It's a little strange, but it is what it is. I hope you get the PPSH. Yo, Blake Walters. I hope so, man. If I spend another $40, dude, and I don't get anything, I'm going to be so triggered. 28 drops left, man. Oh, we're going to have a crap ton of crypto keys to open up, so that literally might be our only saving grace at this point. You're getting it? Yo, Bob Ops, if I don't get it, man, I want somebody to, like, just come over and just, like, give me a really warm hug. Because I'm going to be really disappointed if we don't get it. We got the mongoose. Coup de grace.
My name is not actually Bob XD.
All right, John Killer coming in with another $1 donation saying, my name is actually not Bob XD. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a John Killer spam in the chat? Or how about just John? Just a John spam in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, John, for that $1 donation. Or you can spam not Bob either. Either one of those works. I appreciate that $1 donation again, man. Thank you very much. Hennis, what do you think about Carnage bringing back to old CODs? Yo, Dino, first of all, man, welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. I'm excited for it, man. I honestly think it's going to do a lot of good for Carnage, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be great. Not Bob or John. Yeah. John, not Bob. He's an amazing man. Coming in with 2 back-to-back donations, dude. That's crazy. John Killer over here dropping bombs. Dropping bombs. Bombs for my stream, dude. Donations, any donation of any kind in my stream is considered a bomb. John Killer, man, you're crazy. Are you going to be out? I don't know. You've donated before, John Killer, actually, man. I definitely know that. John Killer 12. I remember you've donated before. You coming in. Yeah, I remember. Like, that was back during Christmas break. So that was a long time ago. I took a screenshot when you had 22,222, and you made a funny face. Super Slasher. Make sure you tweet that at me, bro. I wish you check it out. 20 supply drops left here, boys. We have a crap ton of crypto keys, so that may be the only thing that's going to help us out. How do you donate? There's a link right at the top of the description down below, or you can click the, or you can type !donate in the chat as well. Dex Chapo, what's up? Welcome to the stream. !donate in the chat. That's the fun way to do it. That'll give you the link right in the chat. Xclip, look, I got a rich family. If you can hit 15 quad feeds, I'll donate 1 million. I'm 18, so if you hit 10 quad feeds, I will donate that money. 1 million sounds insane, doesn't it? Yeah, bro. 1 million does sound insane. And I think the reason it sounds insane is because that's actually not going to happen. Because you can't actually donate $1 million to a person in a single transaction on PayPal. That's not even legally allowed. Like that's completely against their terms of service, bro. Like I don't even think they allow that. Should I donate? Yo, Shadow Gaming, completely up to you, man. Completely up to you guys if you want to donate. Donations are never required, but they're always very much appreciated. A link is right at the top of the description down below. Yo, oh, I looked up at my COD points right there. And I was like, no, we're all out of COD points, and then I realized that. Damn.
3 back-to-back.
Yo, 3 back-to-back, man. Damn. John Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
4 back-to-back.
4 back-to-back. Ladies and gentlemen, John Killer again. Yo, we got the wrench. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, John Killer is our good luck charm. Coming in again with another donation. That's 4 donations in a row, all $1. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your support, homie. Means a lot to me. I really do appreciate it. We got the wrench, boys, with 14 supply drops left. So that's another DLC weapon that we did not have before, but it is not the PPSH or the M16. So, what were you guys doing before this? We were doing a You Say I Slay stream, so I was having viewers send me class setups and I was using them in-game. Another $1 donation, dude. That's crazy. How do I donate? There's a donation link right at the top of the description down below, bro. That's insane. John Killer with another donation, dude. You're crazy. Literally crazy. PPSH, man. That's all I need right now. That's all I need. Just the PPSH. Literally, that's all I want. Like, don't give me any more DLC, like, melee weapons, man. I just don't need them. Can we get another John spam in the chat, guys? You guys just have to spam his name all the way down the chat. He's just donated, like, 3 times. The dude's crazy. Thank you very much, man. Again, for your monetary donations. I really appreciate it. You could donate, like, 5,000 and then another 5,000? Yeah, man, you could just keep donating $5,000 to my stream. If someone donated $5,000 to my stream, dude, I'd probably just get up and walk away. And I think I would just end the stream. And I'd probably poop my pants right in my seat. And then it would probably just come out the bottom. Dude, any donations that are over like 20 bucks are like crazy. Crazy bombs, man. I really do appreciate all those, man. It's crazy. Obviously, $1 donations mean a lot to me too, but like I've gotten $100 donations before, dudes. Those are just crazy. Those are weird. Like, crazy amounts of support. It's amazing. The M16 at the 5th supply drop. Guys, we're down to the 8th supply drop left here, and we have not gotten the PPSH or the M16. Treyarch, I want you to look me in the eye and tell me, Henis, don't worry, dude. You'll get it eventually. Just keep buying supply drops and you'll get it, dude. Trust us. Just trust us. Search Sour, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. MVP Gaming Pro, how you doing today? Henis is becoming DJ Khaled with these another ones. Yo, another one. And another one. We got 95 viewers right now. I appreciate all of you guys coming by the stream. You guys are all going to slowly watch me decay here once we finish opening up all these drops and we realize that we actually didn't get the PPSH, and then we're all going to cry. What's my PSN name? Yo, I accept all friend requests on PSN, so do not be shy to shoot me a friend request, guys. This is probably, once we're done with this opening, I'm probably going to be done for the day. Just because I have to go to class here in like 30 minutes or something like that, so just make sure that you guys go ahead and drop a like in the stream if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you guys are new. I would really appreciate that. We got the left arm, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we already had that. We did actually, yeah, because I don't remember that wasn't one of the weapons that we did not have before, but that's absolutely crazy. You're gonna donate soon? All right, Shadow Gaming. I'm looking forward to it, man. I just joined a clan. If you could check it out, please, that'd be check it out, please. Yo, Smokes, absolutely, bro. If you want me to check out your clan, just go ahead and tweet it at me on Twitter, and I'll be sure to check it out. Is Clip actually gonna donate $5,000, dude? Because if so, I will poop my pants on stream. Like, I will literally defecate in my pants right now. I will poop my pants for you if that's what you want. Do not leave because I'm going to donate. All right, bro. Yo, I won't leave. I'm going to be on for like a couple more minutes, guys, so don't worry. You guys still got some time if you guys want to donate here real quick. About to donate Banana Crab? Yo, you guys are crazy. Like, if you guys are actually going to donate, that's amazing. This is our last drop here, guys. I'm just realizing this. We just blew through all of these and we didn't get anything. We have one more drop here to go. Check your Twitter. All right, Jack. Sounds good, man. I'm going to need like a serious pick-me-up if we do this last opening and then we go through all the comp points and we don't get anything. It's 11 p.m. over here in Ireland. Yo, bro, it is currently almost 6 p.m. over here on the eastern coast of the United States. We didn't get it. R.I.P. R.I.freaking-P, chat. Pray, my dude. Yo, Monkey Elite. We didn't get it, man. Treyarch just destroyed me.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
W.E.
Thank you very much, John Killer, W.E. for that $1 donation. Again, man, I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. John Killer absolutely destroying the donations right now, dude. Really do appreciate it. And we just had 100 viewers. Thank you very much. A class or a 10K donation, I'm going to donate in 40 minutes because I'm getting pay transacted in 15 minutes. Yo, bro, what? You didn't nah, dude. I'm not going to be on in like 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, I have to go to class, bro. So I don't have that much time. But, ladies and gentlemen, that was really depressing. We're going to go ahead and burn all these duplicates right here. Then we're going to go through all of these crypto keys and maybe get the PPSH. Ladies and gentlemen, if we do not get the PPSH, I will literally probably scream. How much money have we spent since on the black market since the DLC weapons dropped, since the PPSH and the M16 dropped, when we have not gotten it? I'm gonna kick if John donates $10 in separate $1 donations. Yo, true, dude. He could get all the way up to $10 in donations, dude, and donate 10 times, just all doing $1. Baba Ops did that a lot, too. That was funny. I remember those. He, like, changed his name every single time, too. That was funny. Okay, no donation then? Alright, bro. Sounds good, man. If you weren't gonna donate $125, that's good. If someone donated $300 and told you to get an Xbox One, would you? If someone donated me $300 and told me to buy an Xbox One, I think I'd have to. So yes. Yes. What's your Twitter, Hennis? My Twitter is ProHennis. If you guys type !TWT in the chat, it'll give it to you. I just put it in the chat right there for you guys. Follow me on Twitter if you have not done so already. We have almost 1,000 COD points here. Or crypto keys, excuse me, to open up. Let's see what we can get here, boys. We don't have a whole lot of time here, so I'm just going to try to go through these. Maybe get the PPSH or the M16. Do I like a girl? I like girls. I will donate tomorrow. Will you be streaming? Yes, man, I will be streaming tomorrow. It'll be a lot of fun, too. It's going to be lit. Oh, boy. Hashtag PPSH luck, boys. That's what we need right down in the chat. We just need hashtag PPSH luck all the way down the chat. All the way down the chat. What's going on, Charlie Buse? How you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for your support, man. I really do.
Dad, that's Val for the referral.
What? Yo, thank you very much, 14E1E1 Dad. AW Dad. I appreciate that donation. Thank you very, very much. That $1 donation. I'm pretty sure that's John Killer because he was just typing some weird stuff in the chat as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you very much, John, for that $1 donation once again, homie. Thank you very much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Actually, I can just check right here. Yeah, that was John. It came through as the same thing on PayPal. It's the same guy. Thank you very much again, man, for that $1 donation. I really do appreciate it. Hennis, could you give me a chance to play with you? I can send you some nice clips in competitive. Yo, Lonely Carrot, if you ever want a chance to play with me, man, just make sure that you're friends with me on PSN, and I'll be sure to play with some new people next stream, bro. Because right after I finish up this opening, I won't actually be able to play with any more people just because I have to go to class. But check your email after the stream. I know where to look. So I know where to look about the card. All right, Standard, sounds good, homie. Sounds good, man.
This store assumes no liability for any injury.
Are you going to host a game after opening? Host a stream? Like, are we gonna raid somebody? I don't know, man. We might go raid somebody. What would you spend if you had 1,000 pounds? If I had 1,000 pounds, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do with 1,000 pounds. That's a lot of money, dude. Do I want 2 50-pound PSN codes? Yo, bro, absolutely, man. I would do a giveaway with those. That'd be awesome. You guys would really, really enjoy that. I would 100% like those, man. Because I would do a giveaway. I would give it right back to you guys. That'd be awesome. Hennis, I DM'd you a screenshot. All right, man. Sounds good. Yo, Trap, what's up, homie? Welcome to the stream, dude. Thank you very much for stopping by. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Bushwhacker. Let's freaking go. Excuse me. All right. So we got the Bushwhacker. We did not have that DLC weapon before. So that's 3 DLC weapons that we've gotten so far today. No, 4. We got the HLX4, the Iron Gym. We got the Wrench. We got the Bushwhacker. And we got the Left E. So that's actually 5 DLC weapons. We've gotten 5. Hennis, if I had 1,000 pounds, if Hennis had 1,000 pounds, he'd do some exercise. Yo, true. If I had 1,000 pounds, man, I'd do some exercise. That was a 10 out of 10 burp. Yo, true, dude. Actually, no, I've had better burps than that. But that was a pretty hefty burp. You know, it felt good. Definitely felt good. Okay, I'll give 10 for all of you. What do you mean you'll give 10 for all of us? Oh, I thought you were gonna send them to me, and then I would do like a giveaway, man, and I'd like shout you out and like whatever. That's cool though. All right. I don't know how many more crypto keys we have to go here, but we doesn't really look like we got too much good luck right here. I'm gonna donate 2 mil. All right, Aaron, sounds good, bro. You can go ahead and donate $2 million. You hit 5,000 tokens? Yo, Gaming Ninja, you're crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. Do I like you? Search Sour? Sure, dude. You should be a nice guy. You're not, like, spamming in my chat and being annoying, so yeah, I like you. Can you check my PS4 message? Yo, Shadow Gaming, I'll be sure to check them out right after this. Sometime later tonight, bro, because right after this game, I got to go to class, but after that, bro, I'll be sure to check them out. How many crypto keys do I have? Let me go ahead and check. I have 504 crypto keys, so we got to do a few more openings here. What's going on, Lars? How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Do I play zombies, Bob Steve? I played a lot of zombies back in, like, Black Ops 2. I played a little bit of Black Ops 3. I played a lot of the custom zombies for Black Ops 3. But as far as Infinite Warfare goes, not really a huge fan. Not really a huge fan of the Infinite Warfare zombies. It's just... yeah, the MX Garand. Damn it! Oh, we already have the MX Garand too. Damn. All right, so that's another DLC weapon though. What is that? That's our 6th DLC weapon that we've opened in this drop today that was not the M16 and the PPSH, so that's cool. We have 238 likes in the stream. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you all very, very much. Hennis, I did get a notification you were streaming, so I pretty much just started... What'd you say? So I pretty much just started watching 15 minutes ago. Hey, no worries, man. I felt like a lot of people didn't get a notification because we didn't get a whole lot of people on the stream. Did John Killer just donate again, bro? Yeah, he did. He just donated $1 via Super Chat. Hey, thank you very much, John. I really do appreciate that, dude. Once again, man. Jeez, what is that, like your 7th donation today? That's crazy, man. Thank you very much. You're insane. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get another John spam in the chat? Thank you very much, John. Again, for your donations, man. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Bro, what's up? Can you shout me out? I'm very lonely. Yo, shout out to the Lonely Carrot. I appreciate it, man. For some reason, the Super Chats do not appear to actually be showing up in chat, so I'm going to have to contact Restream about that. Yo, guys, we are currently 1 subscriber away from 22,230 subscribers, so if we could hit that today, that'd be absolutely amazing. You didn't get the notification, that's why you came late? Alright, so I guess YouTube just decided to not notify people today about my stream, so that's actually cool. Yo, the stream wants you to open up one. If you don't mind.
Boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Just press the spacebar twice.
I've seen you open up enough.
Trap, what's up, dude? True. It's the haptic camo. It's epic.
I know, it's pretty
It's an epic camo, but it's not a DLC weapon. So. Damn. Yeah, I thought you might have been a good luck charm. You're like, let's freaking go, dude. I am so relieved. Oh my god.
For any of you lowlife, take it from me.
Oh,
taking over from here.
God.
Never mind.
Get out of my seat, boy. I love you. Oh, God bless, dude. I would have been, dude, that would have been so much money to spend and not get the PPSH. Let's go, dude. Oh, my God. Thank you, Treyarch. Thank you, dude. I saw it pop out in the middle there, dude, and I was just relieved as hell. Wow. Dude, if we had opened up, how many supply drops would this have been? Think about it. How many supply drops would this have been if we'd opened it up? This would have been probably close to like 150 or maybe 200 supply drops, rare supply drops, without getting the PPSH. That would have been insane. So the other weapon that we have to get now is the M16. Ladies and gentlemen, drop a like on the stream for that. Holy crap. Let's see how many likes we have on today's stream right now. And make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. My God. The only other weapon that we need right now is the M16, and then we will have every single primary weapon in this game. That will be insane. Let me go ahead and see how many likes we got right now. We still have 198 more crypto keys to go, and we also have some duplicates we're gonna be able to burn here as well. Now we just gotta have the hashtag M16 luck, guys. That's all we need right now. Panda Gummy, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? All right. Yeah, so we're definitely going to have a couple duplicates to do after this, I would assume, just because we're opening up a lot of stuff right now, so we're going to be getting a ton of duplicates. We have 245 likes in the stream right now, guys. Thank you very, very much. God bless, dude. God freaking bless. Who opened it? I did, man.
Hey, not bad.
It was after you came over, though. We didn't get any luck for, like, we opened up hundreds before this, like over 100. We didn't get anything. And you came over, opened up one, and there was like 2 after that or something. 2 or 3 after that. Dominic, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing, dude? Your roommate is good luck. Let him open the next one. Sure, technically you should. Good luck. That's a little weird. He's ignoring my comments. Yo, Max, I'm not ignoring your comments. See, there's just a lot of people in the chat, so I can't literally hit everyone. I thought that was a DLC weapon. I'm not gonna lie. Let's fucking go, Hennis. Attaboy. Hey, thank you, man. Pixel, I love you. Hey, I love you too, dude. Yo, Pixel, your class setup today, dude, was literally crazy. The Razorback is officially our weapon in this game. I think my favorite weapon has officially changed from the Weevil to the Razorback. All right, 157 more crypto keys to burn here. So, let's freaking go. Your roommate heated it up for you? I guess so. Hennis, I knew you would get something. Remember the last time you opened some? I do, yeah. Super Session. We opened up so many, dude, and we didn't get a single one. That was so triggering. Yo, Gold Snipes, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I actually beat his parents, charged me. He had like bruises. He was bleeding hard, man. LMAO. What are you talking about, Clip? Yo, you can buy more. I'm gonna have to buy another one of those. Good, Hennis. Self. Yo, Panda. I'm doing awesome, man. Thanks for asking. Good night, yo. See you, Charlie Booze. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Trollface, what's up? Yo, can you add me? Absolutely crazy, kid. Yeah, man. I accept all friend requests, so do not be shy. Go ahead and type !PSN in the chat. It'll give you my PSN ID. Kingslayer, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, dude. I'll put my PSN ID in the chat right now for you guys. I'll give you my PSN ID, and you guys can shoot me a friend request. I accept all friend requests, so seriously, do not be shy about any of that. What's up, Kingslayer? How you doing, dude? I love you, Hennis. I love you too, Shadow Gaming. The CR Clan, what's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. Hey, Hennis, can you check my channel out? I tweeted you. Yo, absolutely, Quartz Gaming. I can check you out afterwards, bro. If you guys ever want me to check out your channels, like any of you guys, make sure that you tweet me your channels on Twitter, because I'm always on, and I always check out your guys' channels. You know, give you guys feedback if you want it, or just watch one of your videos if that's what you want to. So, you play PS4? I do, Daniel. Yes, man. I think that might be all of them. Do we have any more? We got 24 more. I think it has been confirmed that you're my good luck charm, though, so I'm going to let you open up the last one. This may be our last one, though. No, if we get like 10 duplicates after this, we may. We'll see.
All right,
You shot me out, Hennis. I really appreciate it. Yo, shout out to you, bro.
Nice.
Oh, you are? No. Another epic camo, though. Another epic. So if I ever need an epic,
Yeah,
I just gotta come to you. If I ever need an epic. Yo, legendary status. Thank you very much for that sub, dude. I appreciate it. What's my name on PS4? I'll put my PSN ID in the chat right now for you, man. If you type !PSN, it'll give you my PSN ID. Dragon, I'll be sure to add you after this game, man. Let's see if we can burn any more duplicates. Only 3 more, guys. So, there we go. That is it, but we finally got the PPSH. Holy God. I just want to see it to believe it. There we go, dudes. The PPSH. Let's freaking get it. Guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap up today's stream, though, because I do actually have to head to my class right now. Thank you to everybody who came by the stream today. I really appreciate all the support. You guys are absolutely amazing. So now we have every single SMG in this game. The only assault rifle that we're missing is the M16. I think that maybe the... Is that the only weapon that we're missing as of right now? We're still missing the Marshals, so we're missing that secondary. And then what other weapons do we do not have? Oh, we're only missing the... Wow. We're only missing the Buzz Cut and the Raven's Eye now. Holy crap, that's absolutely amazing. Max, yeah, I'm sorry, dudes. I do have to get off right now because I got a class to go to. I have a class from 6:30, or from 6:30 to 8:20. So hopefully it won't be too boring. But yeah, that's what I got to go to right now. But that was just we just streamed for like a little over 2 hours right there. So that was a lot of fun. Make sure that you guys go ahead and turn on notifications for my stream, for my channel. I would really appreciate it if you guys did that. Honestly, when you guys do that, you're going to be the first people in here always watching my streams, and I really appreciate it when you guys are doing that. I told my mom I'm watching Pro Hennis, and she said get off YouTube. Yo, she knew exactly, man. She knew exactly what you were doing. And then we don't have the D13 sectors either. So we don't have the M16, we don't have the Marshals, we don't have the Buzz Cut, or the Raven's Eye, or the D13 sector. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's only 4 DLC weapons that we do not have as of right now. So that's crazy. Chingy, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Are you streaming again today? No, this is the end of my stream for today, guys. I'm probably gonna have a video at some point for you guys tomorrow, which is gonna be awesome. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. It's probably gonna go live at some point after my live stream. So like right after my live stream ends or something like that, I'll have a video for you guys over here on my channel, which I'm sure you guys will really, really enjoy. So thank you guys all so very much for the support, though. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for all the love today. Drop a like in the stream if you guys have not done so already. Huge shout out to John Killer for all of his donations today. You're insane, dude. How long till the next stream? The next stream will probably start. I usually keep you guys updated on Twitter. I'll tweet out like roughly about an hour or so. Or roughly like, yeah, I try to do like an hour or two, let you guys know on Twitter before I actually go live. I'll tell you guys what I'm going to be streaming and exactly what time I plan on going live. So you guys can plan on what time to be in the stream and then hang out with me, which should be a lot of fun. But again, thank you all very much for the support. Drop a like in the stream. Subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. I will put my Twitter link in the chat right now for you guys. I really do appreciate it when you guys follow my Twitter. It's the best place to stay up to date with all of my content and all my videos because you guys know sometimes YouTube doesn't like to notify people when I actually go live. But John, I think you will definitely make the top 20 dono list here, man. Over here on this side of the stream, you'll definitely be able to make that over there, man, with all of your support recently. So I really do appreciate that. But guys, Be sure to go follow my Twitch as well. I'll put my Twitches in the chat also. Exclamation point TWCH. That's the best place to go ahead and follow me over there as well. Because I stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So another good place to check out all my content. We don't have time to rate anybody because I got to head out. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by. And I will see you guys in the next one. Until next time, everybody, keep gaming. And as always, stay cool. Adios.